is to be on Chrome. All right. Now, I bet you, okay, I bet you, please, 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 people hanging out, waiting for my. So I'm live, which is good. It's showing up on the tubes that are you. Oh, what the? Oh shit! Hold on. I got echo because I'm a amateur and I have turned that shit off. All right, now I got to go to the tweets and I got to tell the peeps that we's back because that's how we do things. So what's going on, brother? Let me know. Just chat in my ear real quick. Tell me what you've been up to the last month. Let the world
Just
know.
working, man. I got my boy out here, my son from North Carolina. He's been out here. Am I
That's your
talking too
first.
loud? I'm not using my AirPods.
No, you're cool. I'm just turning
Okay,
you down a little bit in my ear, but
I'm kind of a loud mf'er. So my
that
boy's here from North Carolina. I've been here since the middle of June. Uh, so just been chilling with him. Been working. I started that new gig. So what the hell? Now I have some issues. Uh, Working that gig. That's it. That's it, man.
we're just all kinds of having fun with our tech right now, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
Just
I'm
a
I'm
cut.
on my Surface Pro now.
Oh no
Uh,
shit.
Instead of my Mac, I usually use my Mac.
Oh, you're on your Mac. Let's see. Let me share this. Anybody who's here by accident, go ahead and share this on Twitter if you would, please. I love you all because if you're back, you knew to be looking for it, and that means you're cool, and that's some loyal, cool people right there.
Yeah,
Waiting for them to come back. You know what I'm saying?
man,
So,
I've been watching a lot of movies.
have you? Like what? What'd you see?
What haven't I seen?
All right, let's start over. So the last time we talked was what, June 25th ish, that sort of time frame. So Snake Eyes hadn't come out yet because in my notes we talked about the trailer, talked about um, I think we were talking about Black Widow coming out. Did you see
Got
Black
both.
Widow?
Saw them both.
Did you? What'd you think? Now let's start with Black Widow because that one came out first. The interesting thing, we're just gonna jump in the podcast. If you were here for a second, Chris heard part of this. I was gonna do this whole thing. We're just gonna get into it. Okay, we're just gonna go. Podcast is already. We'll just scratch this one from the record. We'll call it 8.5 or something. But so tell me, what'd you think of Black Widow?
You know, good action. All the actors are great. Black Widow's sister, I forgot her name. She's hot as fuck. Uh, I didn't like the storyline, man. I really
No.
didn't. No.
What?
And
Where did it
I
fall?
saw commercials. The trailers were like, "Oh, it's the best Marvel movie ever," and I'm like,
Right.
"How can you even say that with a straight face?"
Well, I don't know. I personally, it was like when I was watching the build up to it, it felt. It was just to start off. It was just for me. It was just weird to even be talking about Black Widow now, and it was a movie that I feel probably should have come out in Phase 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's too late. It's like,
Or before she died.
yeah. So that's kind of like, and we'll get into this because there's some things that I wanted to talk about that have, in the kind of in the news, or at least I've seen articles on them. They're not necessarily being talked about. Well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is Top Gun, the new Top Gun coming out, and then this, and how necessary is it? But we won't get into that just yet. But as far as Black Widow goes, my thing was how necessary is this? Now, of course, I haven't seen it. Okay, truth be told. Now, the reason I'm going to say that I haven't seen it, my reason is because it felt very the marketing going into it to me felt very much like Captain Marvel. The
Even
over positivity of what we were about to witness, and I think because they felt COVID didn't help, of course, but that whole year pause. We were supposed to already be on Doctor Strange by now, or some shit like that. I put a thing out on Twitter. I can go back and research it, but we were supposed to be like 4 movies deep at this point right now in July 2021. So after Endgame in 2019, 2020 was going to be the shit. Starting with not Black Widow, but I think was it Black Widow? I don't know.
No, I don't think
I
Black
think
Widow was the first one.
I don't think Black Widow was supposed to be the first one. So Black Widow was even going to be the second one.
What do
And
they have? They have Doctor Strange 2,
yeah, I can find the
Guardians of the Galaxy
3.
3. They have the Elders coming out, or no, not the Elders. What is
I
it
know
called?
they're the Eternals.
Eternals.
The Eternals. We both butchered that last time, and I think that's what's going to be fun about this is and it reminds me of Bill Burr and his friend. If you ever watch that podcast, they never get shit right, and it's I don't know. I find it hysterical. We never get shit right, and I know people were just laughing because I got some like you messed that up, and I was like, yeah, okay, Eternals. That's how much that trailer did not impress me. By the way,
Well, the one
I was like,
yesterday, the Snake Eyes looked pretty good.
oh really? Oh okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a little bit deeper. You kind of
Yeah.
know a little bit. Okay, maybe that's it. But see, not knowing the mythology, and that's the thing too, is that I'm an MCU. That the MCU pulled me in. I was always on the periphery of Marvel and DC. I had onesie twosie things and cool stories that I wanted to read. You know, the death of Superman and stuff like that. I wanted to read those. But as far as boxes and boxes, I never did any of that. And then the MCU sort of, I still didn't really invest a whole lot at that point. I was just looking stuff up, and well, who is that, and what did that mean, and what does this mean, and what are they talking about, that kind of research. And then, of course, through that, I didn't read the comics, so there's that aspect of it. So I'm just reading summaries of the comics. But now with the sort of transition to what I'm kind of doing, there's an interest in finding out certain storylines and reading them for myself. And with Black Widow, feeling that Captain Marvel marketing, I mean, it was low key, and Scarlett it's not directly comparable. I'm using it as a very loose analogy, I guess, but that's what it pointed back to. And it sort of like they were trying to really sell it. And we kept seeing the same things over and over and over again. And I still didn't understand why we were seeing a prequel this late in the game and what it meant. And that was the thing that I wanted to hear is from your point of view, having seen it, what did it do for Phase 4?
Bro,
in your opinion?
Nothing. It was weird. Like it set up that show that's going to happen with Hawkeye. So it kind of set that up. It kind of
the TV show.
The TV show on Disney Plus. It kind of set that up because
with Chechnya,
her sister is gonna go. I think try to hunt this dude down.
Okay. What year? Let me quiz you. Not quiz you, but ask you about the movie.
Don't
what
quiz
year?
me.
No. What year? It's not going to be quiz. What year does it take place in? Do you know? It's Cold War, obviously. I think, right? So 80s?
No.
Or is it?
So the beginning of the movie is Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Then it transitions to after Captain America: Civil War. Because she's already in trouble with the what was it, the Wakanda Accords or whatever the hell it's called.
Right.
Where the Avengers split up, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had already helped Captain America get away. So what year is that?
So her and Cap are on the run with Falcon at this point.
Well, no, she's on the run in Norway all by herself.
Oh, okay.
And then
so this takes place after Civil War,
before
Infinity Wars.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is
it's Phase
really
3,
confusing, and it throws a wrench into the timeline.
So it's in Phase 3. It takes place So basically, like Captain Marvel happening in the 80s, this takes place in the past, whereas Endgame takes place in the future. So they are
Yeah.
playing with that aspect. Okay, so continue on. I'm sorry. I just want to get a mindset of why this guy's all super Captain America, but like Russian Papa Bear type. The dude from Stranger
Oh,
Things.
the dude from Stranger Things. What's his name?
Yeah, is that his dad?
Uh,
Is that her dad? Are
no.
they okay? Who is the family dynamic? Let's start there.
So they're all Russian spies.
Okay.
And spoiler alert,
Oh yeah,
uh,
for them.
none of those people are related. Her sister's not really her sister. Her mom's not really her mom. Old Captain Russia's not really married to the mom. It was just they were
They're
planted here to get secrets
and
from the United States. And what secret was it? I can't remember which secret it was. Which I think it was mind control that they took for the rest of the what do they call the Black Widows? I think they call them all right. The females that are under this Russian dude. Um,
you mean in real
and
life,
huh?
or are you mean that they're using real life? Like what are they called in real life as they're using them in the movies? Is that what you mean?
No. So there's an organization that Black Widow used to work for, right?
Right.
The Red Room.
Oh, okay. Right. With the ballerina
Um,
shit and all that.
yeah. So she ends up thinking she gets vengeance on the dude that killed her, separated her family,
Mm.
uh, and it's crazy. It's a little confusing to me because obviously, like you, I didn't read all the side comic books.
Right.
I read Wolverine, X Men, Punishers, things of that. I didn't read every single one that came out,
Let me do this.
and it was just it's a little confusing, but it happens. So none of them are together. They're all Russian spies, and at the end, at the beginning, I guess the prelude to the movie, or the beginning, first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, they're separated. They successfully complete their mission. Captain Russia is in prison. Mom goes on to do her own thing. Uh, the sisters are separated, and
Mm-hmm.
then you pick up to Black Widow after Captain America,
How
Civil
do you
War.
know? How do you know that? Do they tell you? I mean,
Yeah,
is it
because they
literally
they
written
talk
on the
about why
screen?
she's on the run. She meets one of the guys that helps get her trailer, things of that nature.
Mm.
And then when
Someone that we've seen before. Did you recognize that dude from
no,
the first?
he's a new character.
All right.
So you got that, and
I like your
then
shirt, by the way.
huh?
I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, dude, I got all kinds of them now. Hodge twins, go
Oh
go
yeah,
go holler at them too.
those guys are
Uh,
funny.
I got one I'm wearing the Cave of the Winds on Thursday that says make legalize freedom again. So
Nice.
anyway, um, yeah, it's a pretty confusing movie, especially knowing everything you already know, so you know how it's gonna end. You're just getting like, here you go.
Like more story.
Here's a
Like
storyline. Here's an offshoot because
so
we
there's
want to
there
make. It feels like we want to make money. Here you go. Here's a Black
right
Widow.
now to that point, it's like okay, we know who's not going to die in this movie, right? So how much energy do you vest in the other?
There's
I
nobody else
mean,
in the movie.
everybody else in the movie could totally die because we never see them anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? If they're all new and they're special, I mean, if they brought people that we know live on, that's one thing. Um, but yeah, if everybody's new and they've never been seen in anything that's happened since then, it's I don't know it, and that's how it appeared. It appeared at a place,
Yeah,
and
and
it
it
did
really was.
and it didn't feel to me that it needed that I needed to see it. Now there have been I don't know if I've seen all the Marvel movies, but I didn't see all of them in the theaters. there were several movies that I was like, what is the big deal about this? And there were other movies other Marvel ones that I didn't intend to see, but because of circumstance, I was like, screw it, I'll see it.
I mean, which ones do
And
you see in a movie theater, right? You see the big ones: Avengers,
right,
Captain America's,
mm-hmm.
Iron Man's. The rest of them you can.
Thor, Thor, Thor 3. Okay, the second Thor. Speaking of that,
Which
I
one was that?
enjoy. Okay, the first Thor when they're introducing the character and all that stuff. So the just Thor. That one I thought was fantastic.
Oh,
The, the,
absolutely.
by itself, the way Kenneth Branagh, there was a level of gravitas that was brought to. Yes, there was a fantastical and the friggin' giant robot coming down the New Mexican
But
road.
it's Asgard.
Yes, right. But what I'm saying is that when you see Asgard for the very first time, kid, I was it was on this screen that I was like one row too close. You know what I'm saying? And this was before the recliners too. And I'm like this, and I'm seeing Asgard and that friggin' rainbow bridge and all that shit. Like as they're that big sweeping as they're coming in, and you're seeing the tower. It just on screen. That's what I go to see. You know, I go to see the spectacle, and it's not that there are other types of movies that aren't good to see in the theater for the industry. I don't necessarily, as a consumer, care. Because if it's not a movie I would see, I don't really need to spend, I don't want to give that part of the industry money. So if I'm not interested, I'm
Fair
sending a
enough.
message. But
And I'm going to be completely honest with you. The only reason why I saw Black Widow is because my son's here looking for things to do.
you see what I'm saying? And
I
and
probably wouldn't
that
have seen that one.
yeah. But of the ones that are out, I mean, truly, at that time, what else would you have seen? That was probably appropriate for him because how old is he now?
13, but this kid, man, he's been showing me some OnlyFans stuff. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? So he's a little heathen.
And this is this, so yeah, this is your first wife, and this was
God,
no
yeah.
your second wife was Afghanistan. You met in Afghanistan, right? Or was
No,
that
I
the first
met
wife?
before Afghanistan, but yeah. So
Oh,
his
okay.
mom's the one I met before Iraq. Sloppy life.
Oh,
I wouldn't suggest doing
uh,
it.
well, it certainly takes a certain kind of person that could survive it. I could tell you that. Um, and there have been some private things that I've talked with people about offline and the direction of what this is going to be doing and those kinds of things. And it it's gonna be cool, dude. It is really gonna be cool. I got a buddy who is Navy right now that I met through all of this, what I call goofy shit. Because quite frankly, my wife and I had and she'll hear this, and she knows it's that she'll hear the podcast. We had one of them come to Jesus meetings yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a let me just caveat the whole thing. There was no ultimatums or anything like that. It was one of these, it had to be talked about type things. And so from that came, because of what we were talking about, came this overarching idea that I've been mulling over and talking about with my wife, but I haven't actually acted on it. And that's frustrating for her, as well as other things that she wanted me to include as a sort of video diary to my daughters because I'm not a talker. And so when they ask questions and things, I become the protector. And so I talk about poolside stuff and joking around. And we were video games and coffee till 3 in the morning. And we were living in a building in Kuwait. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
when that bell rung, the AOE and the area of operation was, it's huge, dude. You know that it's that area. If you can helicopter, we shall go. And that was how it kind of went. But when we were back in the barracks, dude, it was Kush. I got to tell you, do it if you can. Go to Camp Arifjan. If you can go to
No,
Camp
it's not
Arifjan.
going to quit.
I'm just saying, uh, dude, if you have to go. You know those guys that retire, and we were talking about this before, your last 3 years, and you're like, fuck, I want to go to Kuwait on year 1, and then on year 3, the year I'm retiring, I want to retire from Kuwait. And
Yeah.
so they get that big ass check. But the reason they go to Kuwait, dude, is because the
It's a deployment.
admin aspect of it, well, back in the day, the admin aspect of it, to where all these guys were actually doing what I'm saying, because I talked to them and they told me this is exactly what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with what they were doing. They were working the system, buddy. Hey, if you can, do it. You know what I'm saying? It's
Find that
if you're
loophole.
right. If you're taking it in the butt, dude, shift a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it'll hurt less. I don't know. I'm just saying. Whatever make
Just
it
gotta
suck. Just
relax.
yeah, just breathe. Right. It'll be over soon enough. Just breathe it through, dude. Don't pass out. No, it's no, but it's good as far as the point is that we were revved up because a buddy of mine, Brad, from the Scarab Scuttlebutt podcast, that dude. I just want to make sure that did I retweet this? Okay. What I didn't do is I didn't share it with these jokers in here. Let me do that because these guys might jump back in, which will be cool because our chat is sad. No one knows we're live. The people who follow me know, and they'll probably come in, in the evening-ish. It's what
Oh,
6:44 here, so.
I'll get us 2 more viewers. I got my mom. Hold on.
Oh, we have 2. I'm watching, so we actually only have 1.
Oh,
And if you're watching, then it's just the 2 of us watching ourselves because we're some vain bastards.
we're just some weirdos.
Just me and you talking to each other, watching ourselves on YouTube. Nah, but what me and Brad were talking about. Oh boy, dude, he marine. He was a submariner, my friend. Yeah, so he worked. He's one of them big brain pan type dudes that work on
Yeah,
nuclear
man.
shits.
What
He
the
doesn't.
fuck?
He doesn't. He works on the propulsion system, dude. The nuclear aspect of it.
What is wrong with those submarine people?
Oh, he's special.
Like,
No, it's I don't know, dude.
you're going to join the Navy to be in a metal penis underwater.
just a big dick,
Full
big
shield
angry, just an angry dick.
to
You just barreling through the ocean, dude.
to to sleep on.
4 high.
It takes a special person, man.
It does. Not, dude. My brother was on the Enterprise. He was on the Enterprise and the JFK. He was a
Bro,
Marine.
he was with Spock.
Yes, he was.
Nice.
He's in the background. You can't. But anyways, he's like 6'4", 6'5", right?
Oh
Closer to
God,
6'5", I think.
would he have to walk like this the whole time through it?
But those are aircraft carriers. He wasn't on a submarine. Those are aircraft carriers, right? He couldn't be on subs. He was too tall, from what I understand. He was too tall to drive tanks, all that shit, right? But on the aircraft carriers, and I went on the Enterprise and when it was in Alameda Bay, on this tour that we went. But yeah, you've seen it. Step over the thing, go down the hooch, whatever. But it's tall enough. The hallways are tall enough. The entry, the hatches, that's the swing. That's the doors you see. Yeah, you have to go under those. But when you stand up, there's normal room. You know what I'm saying? It's a regular. When you get into the at least on the Enterprise, well, I imagine it's still the same. How you don't retrofit a fucking aircraft carrier, but well, maybe you do. As far as living space, but maybe in COVID they did. I'm getting sidetracked, but it was
It
4
was
high,
just so
Jack.
nice.
It was 4 high. No shit.
It
It was 4
protects.
high, and I'm not even kidding you. It was when because I got in his rack, and he was third. He had to get up on the third, and there was a dude above him, and you had a fucking curtain, kid.
How
I
do you
was
beat
like,
off of that?
with the curtain closed,
Yeah, but I
quietly.
mean, if you better have a small thing. You know what I'm saying? Get those small strokes. Because if you're
Oh,
stroking it
well, you look. I don't know. Are you a sundial or something? You just lay on your back and it's just
all the
that's
way up,
you.
bro,
You got to get that checked, Jack. You got that grid, didn't you?
it's I think it's infected.
You think? You think? I can only
Is
wear
it not supposed to be
sweatpants. People
green
are
and
staring.
purple? Ew.
Oh
Anyway,
my god. But anyways, but getting back. But yeah, so my point is the four high, and it's they you have no room. I mean,
bro,
you could turn over, but literally that dude, the way as big as he was as a Marine,
you can't even sleep sideways, right? Because it's like a
you
cot.
sleep sort of. Yeah, you don't sleep like directly on your side. Like I don't think anybody that your legs like cocked and your arms kind of. So you're like low. Dude. You're sleeping. The best way I can describe it is in Louisiana when you had to be
Never went.
out in the
Thank
stick.
God.
Damn you. You need to go. Someone kidnap him and take him to Fort Polk pronto.
No,
And
sir. I
in
did.
August, please.
I
In
did
August, please.
NTC, and that was hell enough for me.
No, but no, you haven't been introduced to the Fort Polk national or their little animal that they're so proud of, the
What, the
mosquito.
redneck?
No, it's the mosquito, dude.
Oh, that thing.
These
No, bro.
you can hear
I
it
was
looks like a
conversion.
dude, it looks like apocalypse now in the morning when the sun crests and you're looking across, because we used to back our shit up against the impact area so no one could sneak up on us. For the impact area, for those that don't know, the impact area is where they drop all the live bombs and shit. So we would back up on the map. They'd say this is the delineation where they won't drop bombs from this point out. And so, okay, we backed that shit
We're right
up.
there.
Got that. What was it? Spotter? What was the GPS thing called? What do they call that fucking thing?
Plugger?
Plugger. Be like, where the
Which
fuck
one?
we at?
What the fuck does that even mean? It
I
stands
don't
for
know.
something.
Portable logistical.
Location,
Yeah, something.
uniform.
Someone. I think my nephew did that shit because he's in now, right? So he's with the 82nd, 101st. No, he's with the 82nd, and
Oh, don't get
he.
those confused, bro. You'll get
No, I
shot.
know. No, I know. Um, but he, dude, he was talking, and he was just rattling shit off. And in my mind, like I was like, I'm just listening, and I knew I should know. I knew what he was talking about. But to your point, I was like, what is that? I forget what that even is. You know what I'm saying? Like I had
Yeah.
forgotten more than most people. Well, and that's the thing too. Like my wife said, she's like, I want to because my head injuries and stuff, my memory's going. I got confused today and messed up when I was supposed to pick up my 14-year-old daughter from the mall. I was not pleased with myself. Let me just tell you that. Luckily, the parent was smart enough and the other kid was smart enough, and
To
they
not
were
leave.
cool enough to stick around until I got there. Yeah, but Daddy fucked up. Anyways, with all that stuff, my memory's going, and so my wife wanted me to. I'm not a writer. I've always said that I wanted to write. I think my passion. I think the way I was expressing it is I think I want to express myself, and I didn't know how I wanted to do it. But back in the '90s, it was like, oh, I want to write because this wasn't available. It was all blogging or forums or whatever have you, and I did some of that, but it didn't really do. And then when all this stuff started, I was so busy with other things. I was watching it like, oh, that's cool, and then when I became involved with it and I actually started doing it, my wife had ideas, and we weren't really seeing the bigger picture of stuff. And
Yeah.
getting back to coming back full circle was that we have this come to Jesus meeting about personal stuff that then of course folds over into all of this, because this is what my initial intention was to just sort of be the casual people. I don't need to be first with anything. I don't need to be right. It's more about opinions, and it's about people just talking about, you know what, I really didn't care for it. I know most people did, but I didn't. A place, not necessarily a safe space, because that's stupid. Side took that shit
You
and
don't want a
ran.
safe place?
But I'm just saying an area where people who have a different view of the world because of what we've done can talk safely amongst friends and
Yeah.
have beers and smokes and sit around and do what we would normally be doing out in the woods, but instead doing it in our homes to the best of our abilities, talking about the shit that we'd be talking about this shit around a campfire anyways. Having just either done ATVing or hunting some shit or tracking some shit or just hiking from here to
Burying
there.
bodies, something.
whatever you're doing that weekend. Everybody does their own thing. Um, it has come to my wife and I's attention that I need to be more military minded, because it's not military. I don't mean to be that way, but I mean up front with it.
It's the first time a spouse has ever said that.
But do you want to know why? The reason is, dude, is because she's like, we need to talk about this shit because it's not right. She's like, yes, there is pride in what has been done. There will always be pride in what has been done. There is also shame in some things. There is also humility and honor and loyalty and pride, all these different emotions that come with it. There were things that I found out about our country. There were things I found out about other countries. There were things I found out about how the world works as a whole and has worked for thousands of years, and not this just small time frame that the me movement, not the Me Too movement, the me movement, where I don't really give a fuck if it doesn't fucking affect me. La 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 la. Wow, that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's a place. I think there's a place for that stuff. I really do. And I love. There are people that I can't even tell you. The absolute connection. I mean, I don't. We were very much that way, and I think that's how I kind of. It's not an aura, but knowing how people in general work, I typically can spot my people. Hey, what's going on, dude? Like, that's someone I could talk. I think the first time I saw you, we were in some one of those monthly emergency team fucking meetings that you were running, and I was watching the interaction between the two of you, and I didn't know who was who at this point. I knew who Sue was, but I didn't know who anybody else was. Excuse me. And so as we're leaving, I'm asking my boss. I'm like, so who was that was run? And the way he walked, remember, he was really fast. He kind of like slowed down, and he was like, that's Chris. He's like, there's two people on Sue's team, and Chris is one of them, type thing. And I'm, oh, okay. And we just kind of chit chatted, but I got an impression of what he thought of you. And so I was like, well, that's interesting, because I was getting an impression from him of what he thought of me, and I don't even know him for like 3 days. And you know what I'm saying? So I would talk about the military, or I would use an example of why I would be doing something, or where I was coming from, or an idea I had. And I would see his body change, micro expressions and things like that. And so I was like, but anyways, in seeing you, I'm like, okay. And it became obvious, and I don't think that
there's another goon over there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, there we go. There's one of us. There's at least one person I can talk to.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, my wife. So the idea was to get around, and eventually what I'd like to do is get several of us on here, and we just go, hey, what's going on, man? ATSW.
You just saw that, bro?
Or the escape pod. Dude, I'm all about you right now, bud.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it. Wakanda forever.
There you go, buddy.
I don't know if I can say that. I'm going to get in trouble for saying that.
Oh, you could say that. If they can dye their hair blonde, you can say that, right? Right?
No.
Oh. Is that in the rules now? I didn't get that memo.
Yeah.
I haven't checked my memo. I dipped out for a month. If you watch my Twitter, I'm like, I don't know, I had days, and I've just been reflecting, and it sort of culminated I took the wife and kids, and we went to Steamboat Springs, brother. We left
How Thursday. Was that?
We came back Saturday. Dude, it was chill. It was chill as fuck, dude. I mean, we went there to raft, and so we bought, instead of renting rafts up there, we bought our own rafts. And
what do you mean by raft?
The nice, not the fucking pool bullshit that with the giraffe and all that crap. I'm talking like,
you're talking about like a Zodiac without the
right
engine.
Yeah, but your butt's hanging in the water, and there's a little net.
Oh,
and there's
okay.
like right. So it's it's a pool one, but it's more right. They're like 50, $60 each. You know, that kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay. I thought you like bought a whitewater raft.
It happens with some men. You know what I'm saying? I gotta hold on. I'm having a
Hey,
dysfunction.
hey,
I
hey,
need I
quit
need a
doing
pill or
that.
something. Oh
I got
Jesus.
one. Hold on.
Oh okay. Got a blue pill. No,
I pop
did you
one every
see?
morning just to make
Did you
sure
see
it's still
that?
there.
Makes the ride into work fun, doesn't it? Oh, you work from home, don't you?
Yeah, right into my
You work
downstairs.
with no pants. That's why you have your camera is strategically placed, and you're naked right now, aren't you?
Halfway.
So am I. Take it out.
Oh man, and I'm clean shaved.
Just sitting here on leather in my hot
Hey,
ass garage.
I think I
But
bought the same chair as you, bro.
did you? Oh, similar.
Yeah.
Mirax? Is that cool?
No, mine's
Oh,
a
you got
racer.
a racer. Similar. It's hard on
I
my
think it's
ass.
all the same Chinese company.
Yeah, it's all cheap shit. These arm things go like that. There's fuck. I don't know. I thought a gaming chair would be more intuitive to a kickback sort of. This thing's all stiff and shit, and I don't know.
Bro, I was like, because I'm working from home now, and the old chair I had was making a bunch of noises and like leaning because I'm fat, so I broke it. Um, I was like, let me buy a gamer chair because gamers sit down for hours at a time. These things got to be comfortable.
Right. That's what
It
I
is
was thinking.
not.
It was my logic, dude. And I didn't. This wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like, this is the
what are
worst.
we?
And my ex-wife comes over, every now and again, and she's like, "You want my chair?" I'm like, "No, I bought this thing. I'm going to use it. I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm going to use it. I bought it."
I got this the microfiber cushion that I don't have it. I'm not sitting on it right now, but I sit on that because I'm like this shit 4
Bro,
hours at a time. Like when I did that Twitch thing for all that time, it was 6 or 8 hours. Whatever, dude.
what are you
Yeah,
playing on?
that was Xbox. So I
Do
was
you have a new one?
Xbox on Twitch. I have the S. Yeah,
So do I.
yeah. How do you like it? I have the S and I kept my old one. My one is inside the house, and then the S is out here. So everything digital is here. It's less heat, which I was like, that's cool. And then I have an external hard drive. So because it
Yeah.
doesn't have an optical drive in it, apparently it gives off less heat.
Does
Whatever.
that piss you off?
What? That it doesn't have an optical drive?
No. What hard drive do you have for yours?
I got the low end one because I just got a 6 terabyte. I've been doing that with Xboxes for years, where I get the lowest inboard one, and then I get an extended. The fucked
With
up
that
thing is
external, can you play new games off of it?
that's the thing is that now you have to get a special hard drive that is as fast that has the relay. It's like USB 3.2, I think, or some
Dude,
bullshit.
it's killing me. It's
Because
like
yeah,
you have this one that's what, like 500, like what is the basic Xbox? 512, something like that.
500
360,
gigabytes,
right?
right?
That's filled up with 2, 3 good games.
But the way the
And you
X
can't play
levels,
newer gen games off of that external unless you have a special one. So I have that green Seagate that was 2 terabytes. And I tried downloading 2K because I have the Game Pass. Not 2K. No, it was NBA 2K. I got the Game Pass, and they're like, "Oh, you can't play it off this.
it has to be on your hard drive.
It
Yeah,
has to be."
I started getting that error too. Yeah. Now my thing is that this was this was gifted to me, so it was just a thing that came out of the blue, and he didn't know, and it's cool. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that with this, what I've learned from it is I'm glad I didn't get an X. I didn't spend my money on an X to have. There are issues with that because I would have gone with the smallest terabyte because or the smallest storage on board because that they never no one ever said anything about any of that stuff.
No. And
Look
my
in chat, dude.
son has.
Uncle Danny's here. Your Uncle Danny, dude, is in chat.
Oh shoot! Hey, how did he? That is my Uncle Danny. What's going on? Like my
Hey, Uncle Danny.
real legitimate uncle that I used to spend the night at his house. Did you
Well,
find me
no.
because of mom? Did she look at that support, family support?
There you go.
Um,
Outstanding.
but my son has a PS5, and
Oh.
I've been trying to get a PS5 forever. Right?
Mm-hmm. How'd he get one?
His mom
Oh.
is crazy, and she stays up all night and waits for the drops. I gotta
Oh.
sleep. I'm already ugly. If imagine me without sleep.
What's your dog
Dude, I
doing,
need
dude?
like a solid 8, 10 hours a night.
Is that your dog crying?
Yeah, I got my window open because I'm smoking a cigar. You hear that?
No, that's fine. I just
Anyway,
yeah.
so he has a PS5, and the the graphics on the PS5 are far better, far more superior than the Xbox.
Then the S, the
Yes,
Xbox Series S. Really?
100%. To me, the S looks just like the one. There's really no difference that I can see
Well, and that's the thing though, and I
from
think
my
that's
untrained eye.
right, and I think that's the level we're at now. Is that if you, what are you, what are you watching it, or what are you playing it on? Like what TV, what monitor do you
I
got?
have a 4K Samsung,
Oh,
Ultra.
yeah, and that's okay, because
I
that
mean, it looks good,
right.
but it's not like, do I want to keep upgrading these things? And that's why it took me so long to upgrade. It took me long. I mean, I do have an S, but I didn't go. I had an Xbox 360, and then the one after that. And then when they upgraded, I think it was still a one. And when they upgraded the
That's
one, I was like, I'm not doing that.
they yeah, it was it was the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, which was just slimmer, and
Yeah,
it was much more refined, a very, I thought, good console. That's what I still have. Um, and then yeah, that is basically they just improved on. They took the Xbox One S and then they said, okay, this is going to be the future, and they planned around that. That's kind of the feel that this S Series S feels like, is just a hub for the Xbox One, because I load everything on there, and through my account, because I own it, it's like I could download it. It. I don't know. I put games on there. I take them off. There are things. I load a game and then I'm like, I've had this on here for 4 months and I am actually going to load a game that I'm going to play right now or something. And then I delete it
yeah,
because of the free passes and stuff that we have, and you just get stuff all the time. He says your mom sent the link.
yeah. My mom's dope. See, got the dopest mom on the planet.
That's fantastic. But yeah,
35 years old, she's still supporting me. Not
that's
like that. I don't
outstanding,
live
dude.
in my mom's basement. All right. Um.
Sure.
So, do you have the Xbox Live membership that comes with the EA
Mhm.
gameplay and all that stuff?
Mhm.
Dude, when I first got that, it blew my mind because every game I play is on that. So you have the Fallouts, you have the Maddens, you have the baseballs, you have everything you play that is worth it
Mhm.
is on that Game Pass.
I'm getting the sun is breaking through for no reason, and it's reflecting off something over there. So at this shit.
You
Sorry.
guys still have sun
Didn't
out?
mean didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, out here with the wind, it was cloudy and all nice. I had the garage door open. The lighting was all whatever, and then boom. So he'll be back in a bit.
All right, see you later, Uncle Danny.
Thank you for stopping by. That's outstanding. But yeah, dude. With the S and those passes, what I have found is that I play, and I obviously this is the idea. I play more, and so I play more in bursts, and I'll try different games. I don't
Yep.
get into. I know there's a reason why I didn't buy them to begin with. I really don't get into them, but I kind of just try out a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. Boom, and then I'm out. That kind of thing.
Yep.
But for the Maddens and those kind of that I do play, or the shit I got into, I haven't had NHL. My wife and I were talking about this. She hadn't seen me play NHL since
Right?
the
Who,
90s, dude. Yeah,
who
it was
buys
like,
hockey games?
right. No, we played on Super Nintendo. That was one of the things that my wife and she used to play Zombies Ate My Neighbors back in the day, dude. This is the 90s, remember? Dude, it was Super Nintendo. I bought one. I worked at a game store. I worked at Blockbuster, and I worked at a game store.
And you're showing
And
your age, bro. Half
I
the
did.
people don't
I
even know
am.
what Blockbuster is.
No shit. But we used to rent out Segas and Super Nintendos and all that shit. And so I'd wait for a used one to come in, and I bought one that was in good shape, and I bought it and plugged it in over at her house. And when she was like, "Nah, I don't want it," then we gave it to her brother type thing. But we would play games all the time, all these fucking silly games, dude. But it wasn't like she would never sit down and play Zelda. She would never sit down and play, what is it, the Three Kingdoms, or some sort of
Yeah.
RPG,
Oh,
whatever.
I know what game you're talking about. They had Final Fantasy, all that stuff.
Right. She wouldn't know that the long stories and all. No, she doesn't. That for whatever
Kingdom Hearts.
reason, Kingdom, yeah, things like that. And then there was another one which was like it was like Risk, but it took place in like old China, like thousands of years ago, type thing.
Catan.
No,
Oh,
it was like Three Kingdoms or some bullshit.
yeah. Well,
The
fuck.
Yeah, what? Exactly. But anyway, but the thing that she was into were these goofy ass games like Zombies Ate My Neighbors and the sports
Paperboy.
games. Paperboy, dude, she would rock some Pac-Man. She would rock some old school shit because her parents were divorced, but her dad had toys basically. And so when she would go see him, she'd play the Atari. He had a Mac, so she was playing computer games, when they were still
Yeah.
fucking black and white and on the little hard, you put it in as it was reading and all that shit. She had those games just like I
Remember
did.
the cartridge you had to blow in?
Oh
Get the
yeah,
air
dude.
out?
Oh yeah, the first NES.
Yeah.
You had to,
Dude.
you had to get that magic touch with that you got. Hold on, pink. Oh, that was it. You got to get it down in the thing, or push it all the way
Mhm.
back. There was some games you had to have further out. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That
dude.
shit. That shit, man. That's what created all these techies was trying to figure out what like we couldn't afford as kids, of course, to and our parents would get pissed and probably fucking belt us or some shit if we broke something. So we fix shit. I did anyways. I fix shit constantly. And
Dude,
so if
yeah.
the Nintendo wasn't working, I was like, dude, this is gonna work. Because my
This-
brothers, I can't get that shit to work. My dad would get pissed. I'm like, I got this. Oh, I'm and then you
just-
couldn't get them. There was periods in time, dude, where you couldn't get the NES. I remember that shit too, because my dad's like, you can't even find them now. I remember that shit, dude. It's like burned in my brain. I don't. There's shit like in the last few years. It's gone. I've forgotten
yeah.
or whatever. But, dude, sometimes I get back and I get deep in my childhood, dude, and I remember shit it's like fucking crystal. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
that old dude. And you'd be like, what is he talking about? No, he's talking about the fucking 80s right
Well,
now.
I had
That's right. He's in kindergarten right now is what he's doing.
so you had the Game Boy.
Oh, yeah.
My
Dude,
brother had a Game Boy. And one
the
birthday,
advanced. Yeah.
it was the birthday of my grandma. Uh, the year my grandma passed away, and she was buried on my birthday. And for that birthday, my dad took me to Chuck E. Cheese and got me a Game Gear. Remember the Sega Game Gears?
Oh, yeah, dude.
And
That
you
thing
had to
was
put like
badass.
three AA batteries in each side.
Every 2 hours.
Bro,
Because the fucking thing.
right? Well, I
Right.
remember I distinctly remember being in Mexico and losing the battery, the just the backs. You have the backs of the battery, like just losing those.
In
And
Mexico.
yeah, like just the battery covers.
Right.
And you're like,
Old Johnny down the block's like, just run to Toys R Us. I'm in Mexico.
how do you lose things like that? And it's like,
Oh,
it's
son.
the stupid things you remember because I don't remember any game I used to play on that thing.
There are
But
no
I
backs.
remember
My
losing the
Fortune
back.
has no my Fortune has no backs to her remotes. None. She fiddles. She
Yeah,
has she fiddles. And she with the back of the remote and boom,
but I can't
it's
tell
just
you
and
any
it
game I
disappears.
played on that
It,
thing.
oh, I know.
But I can
Oh
tell
yeah,
you
you
the
do.
backs
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. No, the Sega on.
Well,
Oh
of course
shit.
I had a Sonic.
Well, yeah. So there was those and the racing on Sonic and stuff like that. But there was the not Sky Fox, but there were flying ones and racing ones and stuff like that. It
Yes.
was yeah,
Sky Fox was Star Fox. That
Star
was a
Fox,
Nintendo thing, wasn't it?
Super Nintendo. Yeah, Super Nintendo.
And that
That
dude was
was fun
legit.
as fuck. Oh yeah, I love the shit out of that game. That game was fun. My wife played that too. Racing games she'd play.
Yeah.
That was some fun shit. But that's ultimately, and then sort of not briefly, but we've taken almost an hour to sort of get back to what my wife and I were talking about is that aspect and what we were just talking about and how we were just talking. More importantly, was this remembrance, and our kids don't know, and I'm not a very good storyteller. No, come on, kiddies, gather around. Daddy's gonna tell you a tale of how it was in the '90s.
Sit
No,
on my
it's not.
lap.
Right, exactly. That's not. We're just. It's not that we're. Yes, we're not those kinds of parents, but we're not those kinds of people. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and we're raising kids that don't. They're not. I don't know. They just didn't not require it, but it wasn't. We are just different in that fashion. But
Well, our parents were different as well, right?
right, right. So we're. I think what I've turned into is an amalgamation of what I remember my grandparents being and the better parts of what my parents are. Now, I'm not saying that's where I was at 25 when my oldest was born, but
You
or
had
was
your
it?
first kid at 25.
No, I wasn't 25. How the fuck? No, I'm all kinds of
So
wrong.
you're not Army if you didn't have your first kid by the time you were 19.
No, I went in at 23, and then I had my our daughter was born in
You did everything backwards, bro.
2004. So I was 29, gonna turn 30 that year.
When
So
you had
I
your
was
first kid,
29 when she was born. Yeah. hmm
golly, man,
And
you made
then
me feel like an old man.
1 month later, I deployed for a year.
How old is your oldest?
17.
Dude, I'm like, no offense, like a solid 10 years younger than you.
Solid.
And my son is only 2 years younger than your daughter.
Well, you're part Mexican. You're part Mexican, so
You got that right, I am.
yeah, we had you sort of. If you were Catholic, it'd be it'd be different, but
Yeah, if I was Catholic, I'd be touching little
right.
boys, right? Oh, damn.
What it what did Nick Cage said something like a
Oh, there's
Catholic
my
would
mom. Look.
show up just
Oops.
in time.
She laughed at me touching little boys. Hey, mom, you're not supposed to laugh at that.
Well, she's your mom. I wouldn't expect anything less. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, dude, she's crazy as hell, too.
So, some humor, something.
She almost got in a
But
fight the other day. I'm going to tell a story. So, her and her husband are going to, one of the dispensaries to get their CBD creams. They're old, working on their joints, right?
mm-hmm.
And we're a year and a half into COVID. They're not wearing masks. People are vaccinated. People have had it. What do
Mm-hmm.
you need to wear a mask for? They get yelled at. Are you gonna wear your mask? And her husband's like, are you gonna fucking make me wear my mask? Like, what are you? He's like, are you vaccinated? And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, what are you worried about me for then? You're not gonna get it.
And even if you do get it, it's not gonna. You're not gonna die. You're guaranteed not to die from it, right?
Guaranteed.
That's
What's his name said that?
Fauci and Biden. Yeah,
Biden. Yeah.
yeah.
They didn't. It's not a vaccination. It's a cure.
If Biden said it, it must be true.
They cured. Biden cured COVID.
He did.
And
Bless his heart.
we weren't supposed to talk about
He,
politics.
he's gonna be the greatest. No, I think that I think my point was the darker aspects of it that that are done not for this, because these
Yeah.
types of things are my wife and I, and this goes back to what we were talking about before, but sort of deciding I'm still going to cuss and be myself because I do here. And she's like, just obviously you are who you are here. But at the same time, it's like she watches some of these videos because what she does is she doesn't have, it's a legitimate ignorance, really. And all she knows is through me. And
Yeah.
so, and the kids, because she got into YouTube and you
Well,
started utilizing it, simply my wife, simply
oh,
because we're just watching stuff through my kids, because there
yeah.
was some things that my kids watched or whatever.
Hmm.
And there were these they're actually here from the Springs, dude, and they're these Christian dudes, and they do funny fun shit, and they're goofy, and they're dudes, and they've got families, and they know shit, live here in the Springs. Jay and Stu, I think is what they're Stu and Jay.
Never heard of her.
But anyways, point being, they're like those dudes, and so what they were doing is my wife was getting involved with that or whatever, and then fast forward, but she doesn't like comment. It's only on our TV. Like now,
Yeah.
she only utilize. But what she'd been doing was she went on the laptop, and she doesn't know this, but when she clicks on YouTube, it wants to log me in as me. So we had to clear that up real quick, and I had to because I didn't realize I had some things turned on or whatever. But she liked some things, and I was like, "Why is that showing up? What the?" I was like, "I did not like that."
Why am I watching
It
videos on how to make a tres leches cake? Like what?
no, yeah, it was a medical thing for chicks, and I was like,
You better
"What?
stop
Huh?
that.
Hey, honey, did you?" Yes. How'd you? Yeah, she was not embarrassed, but I knew, and it doesn't matter. Point being, so she's playing with getting an account. We had been talking about it. Just get your own damn account because
Oh,
both my daughters have their account on the YouTube, on
get an
TV out
account.
here. So,
Make a shitty Gmail that you ain't never gonna use and make an account.
but there's a point to it. This whole thing has been, and that's kind of I didn't know where my voice was until we sort of had this come to Jesus last night. Is that I had all these ideas and I was so wanting to do so much at right now that she was like no. And so that realization of not only that but getting to this point where we could have 4 or 5 other bubbas on and we're just shooting a shit and people are jumping in and we're just what I'm saying, like we're just a bunch of friends sitting around talking because we can't go hang out, or we can but we can't hang out. We got a couple guys, Ohio and Michigan and Nevada
Well,
and
you won't catch me
California and
in
stuff.
Ohio.
You know what I'm saying? Why?
There's
If
some crazy.
LeBron can go to Ohio, dude, you can go to Ohio.
No,
Why?
we're like completely opposite. No, you just proved my point. No, man, Ohio has
Maybe it's just corny.
it's beautiful country, but no offense, they're weird ass people up there.
Dude, we're weird ass people.
To
They're just weird.
Ohioans, yes.
They're just weird to us. And we're weird to them, and
I guess it's
we can
also
just wave from a distance. I mean, I have driven through Ohio and I've known a couple people from Ohio, and
I went to Ohio one time.
I wouldn't even know that they were from Ohio. That's, that kind
I
of
went
thing.
to Ohio one time. Actually, it was pretty cool. I went when before my first deployment. I was living with a buddy of mine, Nigel Griffin, and I had just gone active duty, so I didn't know anybody. This dude pulled me in, let me live with him, so I didn't have to live in the shitty ass barracks. 4th of July weekend before we deployed, we went up to Ohio to see his dad. Dad's cool as hell too. I love his dad. But we went to Dave and Buster's, and I was 18. And Dave and Buster's was giving me beers and shit. So yeah, you know what? Ohio is cool. I'll go back.
Well, there's places, dude. Anywhere. I mean, I drive as fast as I can through Michigan. I'm just kidding. There are
I mean,
areas there are areas anywhere, dude. I was just and that's part of what I wanted to talk about. But and we can get into it. I know this is one of my longest intros, I think. But
this is an intro, bro.
no, this is just us talking. We started off. I was wanting to express kind of the direction of where this is all going,
Oh,
and
all right.
but
Let's get into it,
but it's
man.
it's the conversation though. This is the point. This is the point of it. Like George Costanza says, it's
You,
about
you
nothing.
you told me to do my hair today, so look.
Nah, I was just saying I met a bunch of people, and I don't know if extra
Yeah,
people
you
were
said
gonna
you met a
show up.
bunch of hot girls that are interested
Look,
in me.
well,
So
now you got Uncle Tommy showing up, and you got your mama showing up, dude, and you want to look nice. See, I didn't know who was gonna show up. I'm
yeah,
not
you're
saying you
right.
didn't.
Well, I text
You
my
know,
mom. I said, "Mom, hey, let all your friends know the Convergence is live."
well, that's cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate them showing up. See, that's the thing too. I mean, my wife was like, "What am I gonna listen to?" I said, "I'm gonna say some funny shit you're gonna laugh at." I said, "You're not gonna
I
listen to
mean, she can
everything."
always laugh at me.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude,
It's
I
like,
crack up.
damn.
I have to listen to this right afterwards because I'm like, okay, did I say anything? I'm still in a military intelligence sort of mindset and hiding to an extent. And so I'm like, did I say something in the past, and that was why, one of these times actually, I forget if I was talking with you or Brad, but I was like, I just want to go back real quick and clarify because I didn't have a chance during one of our conversations that I used a term that might have been viewed as derogatory, and I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't us that had come up with that the host country we were in, that was their terminology
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
these,
yeah, yeah. I think that
right,
was me. You were talking about yeah.
Hajis, when they, yeah,
Yep,
the
that was
the
us.
terminology
When I
Haji.
was telling you about my shower
Hmm.
story.
Right. Yeah. But this is the thing. And my wife and I, it was a hard night, dude. We got into, we were laughing. It was hard, the whole 9 yards. But it was like, it's like we're still going through some stuff, but we want to go through some stuff together. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? And that is where we're at, which is, I don't know. It's one of those things where you walk into a time in your life and you're like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of unfortunately where she and I have drifted in the last few years. So last night's talk was a long time coming, and basically what we hashed out was that we both felt it was important for our girls to hear me be me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
with men,
100%.
because having young girls and me being who I am, they see how I react to the boys they bring around here, and they don't fully understand, or they see me react poorly to something or get extremely mad like I've been for the last couple of days because of reasons that they don't understand. I have a
Hey,
hard time in public
yeah,
spaces with a lot of people
you
and
know,
for duration, and we were up in Steamboat Springs for two full days, and then right after that, um, it was iffy whether we were going to do it or not. But if it was supposed to rain back home the way we thought it was going to, we thought my daughter's gymkhana, the horse race thing she does, horse competition, we thought
what
that
did
was
you
going to be
call it?
canceled. It's called gymkhana. It's like rodeo for kids, but it's rodeo light basically because we went to a rodeo where we were up in. There's no bulls in what she does. It's all just the horse aspect of it. But the
I didn't know
going in
you were this
between,
white.
you didn't know what?
You were this white.
I'm this Colorado fool. I'm this much Colorado. I didn't realize how much Colorado was actually in me, having been born in California, until I moved to Colorado. And was like, I kind of, well, where the hell have I? Why wasn't I here sooner? You know what I'm saying? Because shit just makes sense. Except for like there are some times, because there are idiots everywhere, and they're breeding, which
And they're breeding
why? Why
fast.
are we allowing that? You're dumb. Why do you have 8 kids? Why? Do you not know you're dumb? Has no one told you this? I don't know. It's not that having 8 kids makes you dumb. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying it's like, why do the less intelligent multiply at a rate like Catholic rabbits? That I don't understand.
Catholic rabbits.
Yeah, that's a Nick Fury line right there.
That
I've
was
heard that
the
my dad used to say that shit, and I hadn't heard it in years. And so when I heard it in Avengers, dude, I was the only one in the theater laughing at that shit, dude. Catholic
that was said
rabbits.
in Avengers.
Yeah,
Which movie?
I don't know. Nick Fury said it. I don't know if it was in an Avengers movie per se, but that character said it. Something
Nick Fury.
about
Samuel L. Jackson. Did he
he
drop the
said
MF though?
no. He did. He almost did at the end of Infinity War. Mother. Then he floated away into ash.
Man, that's. Can you
No, he
imagine
said
being
that shit.
famous?
I think it was civil. Maybe it was Civil War. I don't know. But he said, yeah, he said something multiply like Catholic rabbits or whatever he said. And that
Oh,
was
it
funny.
would have to be the Age of
My
Ultron then.
my dad and yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, because he was on the run. That's right. Shield. That was after Winter Soldier, and so Shield was decimated. Right?
Yeah,
Was he on the run and then Winter Soldier? Yeah, okay.
that would have to be Age of Ultron, right?
I think so. Oh wait, no, hold
Because
on.
those are the only ones that are multiplying.
So, so first, yeah, that's true. So first of it, or Captain America: First Avenger came out before the first Avengers movie, then Winter Soldier, then Age of Ultron. Yes. So
What?
when
You
Winter
forgot
Soldier
about
came
Iron
out, there was
Man.
the fall of Shield. Right? No, no, no. I'm just talking about the fall of Shield and where Nick Fury would have been in Age of Ultron. He was on the run from
Nick
Shield.
Fury died at the end of. Well, he died, right? Um, at the end of the first Avengers, didn't he? With Carlson
No, that was just Carlson. He dies. Nick Fury.
in the vehicle.
No, he doesn't die in that.
Oh, that's
He
right.
d-
Because we see him, he dug a hole with his little laser pen.
he got out. Yeah,
Was it Spider Man?
that was in. Was that in Civil War? I don't. It was Civil War or Winter Soldier or something. It was like the total breakdown of Shield, and he was on the run and now being attacked. It was the Order 66. That whole mentality.
That would have to be Winter Soldier, probably.
Yeah, I'd have to see them all again. It's all. See, this is my
Oh,
memory. I
have you ever
remember the
watched
entire
Law and
story. I
Order?
don't necessarily know if they're where they are in the story, but
Have you ever watched Law and Order with the Agent Carter and Agents of
mm,
Shields
I didn't watch
episodes?
Carter.
Dude,
I
that's
watched
something I want to undertake this
Shield,
winter.
Agents of Shield. I watched several seasons of it while I lost interest. I forget where they were at. It was when Sky first started getting her tremor powers, and then they go to that far off place no one can get to up in the mountains and some shit,
Yeah,
and she
no
learns
rest.
about who she is and all that stuff. Right when that season ended, I didn't go back after that. I had
So,
lost because it didn't really at that point they weren't even near the movies. And
yeah,
the way it was totally for me and how I remember it, at least at this point, maybe I'm wrong, but how it was presented in season one was that the show is going to interweave between the movies. So watch the show because things that happen in the movies are going to affect the show. Oh,
only a
okay,
few
that's kind of
episodes.
cool, right? And then they're very right, and then it'd be some random bullshit. But there was that one, I think of season one, where Lady Sif shows up from Thor. She shows up in Agents of
Yeah,
Shield or whatever to do a quick little thing, but it was just one of
showed up
those,
in
I
Loki
think
too, right?
maybe eventually, but I
Kicking
don't
him in
think
the
I saw it.
balls.
I don't remember that.
You didn't watch the like final two episodes of Loki?
Oh, of Loki, yeah. Oh, I thought we
Yeah.
were talking about Agents of Shield.
Oh no, no Loki when Sif was.
Oh, Sif, yeah, and he was in that time loop.
Yeah, dude, this shit was hilarious. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like,
Just forever, dude. That's how it's gonna be.
would that suck?
That's
That would
punishment.
fucking
Yeah,
suck.
it's like a hell. It's a total. It's not a fiery pit. It's just the worst
I,
part of the worst thing in your life. Just repeat it over and over and over again.
and that little instance was the worst part of his life.
No, I don't know if that was what it is, but it was a
I mean,
bad
that's
aspect that they put on loop.
yeah.
That shit's
But
funny to
yeah,
me.
I got to piss, dude. Put
So
me
go do it.
backstage.
All right.
Talk shit about me while I go
You gotta
piss.
turn. You gotta turn your. Make sure you turn your volume off, dude. All right. So while he's doing that, let me get into this. So basically, what I'll get into is all kind of condense what I was saying with him, but just the way that we are, we interrupt ourselves. So basically, um, the idea sort of formulated over time, and there was these sprinkling these ingredients that I was kind of pulling together for what I wanted to say and what I wanted to do and those kinds of things. And so, what I was most looking forward to was involving. I gotta make sure. I can't tell. These levels are weird, and I can't tell how loud I'm supposed to be or whatever, or how loud it's coming across or whatever. Um, it is basically the idea being is that everybody sort of come around because of some people who are in the military and some veterans are going to be sitting around and we're all going to be talking about stuff that y'all like that we all like. It's just that we had different jobs for a period of time in our lives, and um, much like what my wife and I were talking about is sort of even narrowing that down just a bit more to like combat vets. And there are combat vets that have a rough time, and I know this from personal experience. So, who better to sort of develop at least one of probably many communities? StackUp.org is certainly one of those that sort of is a campfire for vets and military members to sit around and talk about things that is geeky and from our point of view, and have the ability to sit down and talk to each other like just a grunt or a squid or whatever, and get down those basic brass tacks. But the level of naturalness that I've always felt around soldiers, even from different countries. Welcome back, by the way. Even with uh, soldiers from different countries, it's just this brothers and sisters in uniform, man. There's just this thing that
Except
occurs.
Romanians.
Huh?
Except Romanians.
Well, it's just it. You can
They leave hair in the showers, bro.
Well, I'm just telling you, as far as like, if you need, if you need to send up a flare, there's that there are people out there that have your back, and that's
Oh yeah,
sort of
100.
the idea behind this is that the predominantly I'm on Twitter. I'm at the moment I'm not on Facebook, and my Instagram is on private because I fucked up, and someone that I know, and they know that I know, tried to friend one of my daughters. So that shit got squashed right quick in a fucking hurry. And so my shit went dark and I kicked everybody off fucking Instagram.
Yeah, that is
So,
weird.
yeah, no, they're aware of who the fuck they are, and they've been handled. We no longer speak, and I won't drag them down. I won't talk about who it is. But, yeah. Anywho, so I'm only on Twitter. So on Twitter, just talking about like what my thoughts were, private messaging my buddy Brad, who I'm going to be doing this thing with, and basically the idea started with me and my wife kind of talking about, I got for very cheap. I was like, hey, you remember Dungeons and Dragons? She was like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, yeah, my brother and I played it. I played it with my brother back in the '80s or whatever have you, and I got like the starter kit really cheap. Check it out. She was like, oh, that's cool. And I cracked the book and I started looking at it or whatever. And then I was like, nah, you know what? I think I want to play this. And so I started reading a little bit, and it kind of got me thinking. And then on Twitter, I was like, hey, dude, I have this idea. And he was like, that's awesome. And basically, what it comes down to is he is in the Navy, and he wants, a connection, that kind of thing. He's lo- locationally separated from his kids to begin with because of where he's stationed now, and they come to visit when he's on leave. But it's that kind of thing. He's doing the daddy husband thing, or the daddy ex-husband thing in Virginia right now, and he's in a different place. And so I was like, hey dude, I got this D&D thing. And he was like, check this out. Like a week and a half goes by, and I get this tweet out of nowhere. He's like, dude, that's cool. I don't hear from him about this for like a week and a half, and all of a sudden he's like, check out what I did. And there's this stack of fucking D&D books, and this fucking these little notebooks and stuff that he
Are
got. He's
you
like,
planning on playing
we're
online, live
he's
streaming a D&D game?
yes,
Bro, I played D&D once,
no shit.
and
This is what I'm saying, dude. I haven't played since I was in early elementary school, and I remember aspects of it. And I've been around that culture who does do it, but I haven't been present for
yeah,
one since the early '80s. And so I was
my
like, let's fuck and we're to do it like this, bro, and
my
to be
buddy
that.
snapped me yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he was playing D&D with his friends, and I'm like, "You fucking nerd!" And he's like, "Yep." I'm like, "I fucking love it, dude," because they were all around his table just playing D&D, and I've had one friend in my life. I used to live with him with Nigel. He played D&D, and we played one time before we got deployed. And
Yeah.
then after that, I've never met anybody else that played D&D.
So hey, and so I was like, dude, we're gonna go old school. You know what I'm
I'm not
saying? So we're
dressing
gonna
up.
nah, no, no, no.
I
I'm
might
just
dress.
saying.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I
So
might.
so Brad's got the books. So I'm like, okay, you can be dungeon master. I'll figure out how we do this shit, and we'll put it on someone's channel. Maybe it rotates. Who knows? And
Put it on
we do it.
everybody's channel.
We can blast this. I mean, there's ways on Twitter, or not Twitter, but Twitch. If you're on Twitch, if you follow me, I got to remember how this works. You can actually, when I go live, it'll play on your channel. Now, people who
Bro,
Twitch a lot, they know that. So you can actually go into your settings and say, I follow Chris, and every time Chris goes live, I want him to play in this order of all these people I want to play on my channel. Now, when you go live, they all cut out and it's just you. But to basically the point is that if someone tunes into your channel, they're watching what I'm interested in. So they're watching a buddy of mine playing Elder Scrolls. They're watching StackUp.org people stream their shit. They're watching, Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast if they ever go on Twitch, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
this. And so they can do that. And so if someone, and then it broadcasts, and they could basically just tune into their own channel and be chatting with their own people, having a watch party through Twitch. And then they could be chatting with us on a different, on their phone or something. It's this whole community. And even on Twitch, while I'm talking about Twitch, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you're an Amazon Prime member, or, I don't know what your situation is. Maybe your parents are Amazon Prime members.
Hey, man, come on.
If you, I'm just saying, I know for a fact I have some listeners who are in a different generation. So sometimes I gotta lay it out. You know what I'm saying? This is no big deal. I'm 46, dude. I understand. It's like, not everyone's 46. But my point is that if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link your Amazon Prime and Twitch, and every month you get one free subscription. And if you get one free subscription, you can spend it on me. You don't have to spend money. You just subscribe. And then after a month, it'll drop off. Next month, when you get another free subscription, subscribe again. And if you want to try it out to see what emojis you get and those kinds of things, use a free Amazon Prime free subscription to subscribe to me on Twitch, 97 Bravo, as I play games and those kinds of things. You could just do that. And that I kind of want to segue into because the whole Amazon thing. But
think anybody who's ever live streamed just a D&D game like that.
They do, bro.
Do they?
Go Google it.
Nah.
Magic the Gathering, those cards, Pokemon,
yeah.
All day, son, all day. They got cameras and shit, so they do drawings. Yeah, they got cameras that are like all these multi-camera. Dude, we're talking people who've done it for like multi-screens and multi-cameras and shit.
Really?
And they'll hit it, and like they've done drawings, and they're like, oh, and here's the dragon or here's the ogre, and they have a drawing that they've drawn of what the fuck these people, and they're passing it around and the camera, and they just bring it under the camera like, this is what I'm seeing right now. And so like the audience can, like, not only are you using your imagination, but you're also it's like tailored to what this guy wants to show you. No, the elf looks like this, and you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So it's a little more all over the place. So there's a full, I'm combining a whole bunch of different things I've seen into like one entity that I'm expressing to you to sort of describe it. So they're not all like that, but there are things out there. Dude, there are chicks that wear kitty cat ears and small clothes and hang out in fucking hot tubs, dude, and just chit chat with dudes over Twitch. Yeah.
So speaking of that, right?
You can just watch for free. I don't know why these fuckers are spending money. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you would do that. But that's a psychology issue that I'm not going to get into because
I am going to start an OnlyFans.
For you?
Absolutely for me. What? Why wouldn't I make this? It's going to be my weight loss journey.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
People are going to or they're going to pay to watch you lose weight or to gain strength, though?
Both.
Both?
Encouragement.
That's what I'm doing.
If my lazy, drunk ass can do it, anybody can.
Well, this is my thing, too. Like, my wife and I were talking, like, part of what we were talking about last night was just health-wise and all that stuff. Because, as we've talked about, I went from about, I think when we were working together, I was like 225, something like that. And then earlier this year, I was like 165.
God.
So it was just, yeah. So right now, I've gained, since the last time we talked in a month, I've gained 8 pounds. And that's just been walking and my joints and stuff and yoga, basically. Very random, but doing yoga and getting it.
Oh, dude, yoga is good for you.
It's the stretching, dude. It's the limberness and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's stiffness and all that.
Look up
But
knees over toes guy on Instagram.
knees over toes.
He does some crazy ass stretches. And this dude's had like multiple knee replacements, and he's he and his program, his stretches. He provides all this information to you for free.
Mm-hmm.
A little plug to him, so shout out. But dude, the stretches he does is nuts. Like being on your heels, leaning back, and your shoulder blades touching the ground,
Mm-hmm.
stretching all that out, and it's like he provides all this information where you
Mm-hmm.
just limber up, and because stretching is important, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it
You
is.
so not only is strength, nutrition important, but you also need to limber up those joints.
Well, it's that movement in general. Is that
Yeah,
with other shit and put my body unnecessarily through hell for absolutely no reason. Um, yeah, it was an amalgamation of things that ultimately came down to, so how are your kidneys feeling? And that was one of the that was it hit you. And so, and there were some other issues as well, and other internal issues, and then other fucked up shit issues. But the leaf is turned. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
page has been turned, that kind of thing. And like last night was the whole thing of, so what now? And basically, it was just this. It is the talking. It is, I have to get out and talk with different people, and I don't do this in normal life. And what better thing to break the ice with is to come on and throw you a bunch of things that we may or may not be talking about, and then we get sidetracked, and then all of a sudden we're in a 3 hour conversation that people are tuning into. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that, and along the way we're going to talk about our feelings and why we didn't like certain movies, or why we did like certain movies that perhaps other people didn't like what is it, Army of the Dead. There were a lot of people that I followed that were just like, this was a shitty movie from beginning to end, and here's why, right? And it's all, don't get me wrong, it is the critique aspect of it.
yeah,
It is, well, because of the tone or the this or the that, and it has to do with how it was made, right? And that
dude.
okay, I
Zach
respect, I respect that opinion. I truly do, and I think that there's a place for that. Um, Me, on the other hand, that's my thing too, is that that's not who I'm trying to be on this. I'm just a dude and a vet who watches movies, and I'm just trying to hang out with other vets and dudes that like movies and games and stuff like that. So we're just gonna talk as like I didn't like it, or I did, or I don't need to make sense. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to
Yeah,
follow a logical flow. It's just, what do I find entertaining? And I thought that movie was entertaining as hell. And
entertaining as fuck.
it was exactly it. There was some goofy shit, but there was enough of it to sort of keep me involved. And I was like, you know what? I like this movie. It was that. I mean, I had problems, of course. I was just like, oh, okay, but dude, for what it was at the moment, I thought it was extremely fun. And so to watch these people just, and they're not the haters of everything, to just lambast from minute to end, type thing. And it was like, I don't. That's not. I'm not saying I'm trying to compare or be like that. That's not what I'm just saying, like, that as an example of what I don't do, or who I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be a film critic, and I'm not saying these people are attempting to be a film critic. I'm just saying I know I'm not out there going, well, I'm not going to argue with anybody if they like something and I didn't, or vice versa. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's cool. Now, if they come after me, I'll talk about why I liked it or didn't, or things like that, and we can have
Yeah,
that discussion. But like, what was this? I forget what movie we went to see. Oh, yeah, Quiet Place 2.
yeah.
Yeah, we all went to go
We
see
talked about
Quiet
that one
Place.
already.
No, no, I don't think so. Did we? Where I fell asleep?
Oh no, no, no. Okay, we have both seen it, but we haven't talked about
Yeah, no, we went to movie theater, the whole 9 yards, the popcorn, and as soon as the popcorn was over, I mean, it was into the movie, but so you saw it though, right?
Oh, dude, I did, and that's
Right.
the
So
worst movie. to fart in.
Yes, I
I
would
let one
imagine.
rip on those leather seats, and it
I
was just
imagine. Well,
loud.
I got to the point where I saw the day one or day zero, whatever they called it. So I
Yeah,
saw
when
that.
they were all, which has plot holes of its own, but you know,
Right. And so as it's going on, I'm like, what? I'm still eating my popcorn. I'm like, what? And thinking, how is this going to wrap up? I'm already thinking ahead type thing. I was just enjoy it. And after that, when they go off and then they show that the sand is no longer there and they're now beyond where they've ever been, that sort of journey, that aspect. And then they meet the dude from, they meet, what's his name? Scarecrow from Batman
yeah,
Begins.
Scarecrow. Yeah,
So they meet him. I saw up until like a little bit past that, and then they figured out that they had to go someplace else, and he ends up going with them. I don't know. And then I fell asleep. Then I was in a recliner at the theater. I was like, what was I thinking? And it was at the end of the day. Um, anyways, and when I come to, I see the ending. Like literally the last, I think 9 minutes of the movie.
when they're in the recording studio.
No, I guess I didn't see that. I basically maybe it was like the last few seconds of the movie, and then the credits rolled, and then my wife looked over at me, and I looked over at her, and she's like, "You fell asleep." I was like, "Yep," and I was mad. And so
How did that movie end?
I texted. I don't even remember at this point. I remember I saw stuff as soon as I watched it again because it's on Paramount Plus right now. And I could watch it for free at home. I started it again. I just haven't finished it, and I got to the point where I fell asleep, and then I was like, all right, I'll finish this, and I just haven't got back to it. But
So the black dude dies, man. That black dude, uh, whatever his name is, I don't know his name, but I've liked him in every movie he's been in.
he's the guy. He's the African. I think he's South African or whatever. D. Joan. I think that he was in the first Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah,
where he
I've
was
liked him
hunting.
in every movie he's been in.
That's the guy, right? He's hunting Peter Quill.
I think
Black,
so.
the black dude. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have liked. He was a slave in the one first time I saw him. I think one of his first earliest ones. He was a slave or back in that time frame.
How the hell did that
Was it
movie end?
Amistad? Was it Amistad? Maybe it was Amistad where he made like that was his coming out movie
Yeah.
or the first
But
big
he
one
hasn't
he
been
did.
in very many. He hasn't been in big roles.
No, he's always. I mean,
He's always supporting.
even in the Island, he's just a slub. He's just another character, a secondary character to the main characters. I think we're talking
How
about
did
the
that
same dude.
movie end?
Mike says Red 5, brother. See, I'm horrible with chat, dude. I'm absolutely horrible with it. Maybe if I had both of them up.
So anyway, I didn't think Quiet Place 2 was bad. I mean, it had its plot holes, obviously.
Well, the beginning part I didn't understand because I thought there was a lot of I thought there was a lot of exposition in the first one enough to understand that they were trying to understand this whole time what the hell they were dealing with. Like they didn't truly understand because during the first one they didn't really understand anything until the girl's hearing aid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they were really still trying to figure it out, but there were points that we were supposed to pick up that they had figured out a lot of what was going on. I didn't
So
realize they had figured it out within moments of meeting these fucking things. It's just stay quiet and they can't see you. Because remember where they
yeah,
hit the
right, because
ground
they're running through that bar.
exactly, and they're just like, and I mean, I would have. That's like the natural thing to do, like just be quiet and they'll run. Because you would do that if a bunch of heathens walked in with guns or whatever have you and started shooting people.
Right? Yeah.
And if your thing, let's just say you were hiding, you're going to be as quiet as possible to begin with, and
What
then
do we call that? Noise discipline?
right, and so them doing that naturally felt right in retrospect, but in the moment I was like, how did they figure that out so quick? You know what I mean? Like that was what was going through my mind. Like, but maybe I was oversensitive to it, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Look,
connected it when I shouldn't
the
have.
only thing I had an issue with was in the first movie, the first asteroid or whatever had landed in Mexico. right? And these newspapers are printed that they landed in Mexico. He has them on his wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this movie, you see it crashing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like moments later, these things are there.
Mm-hmm.
So how did they get a newspaper from Mexico or from the New York Times that these things had landed in Mexico as it's landing in upstate New York?
Right. I think the that aspect of it, the fast correlation,
Yeah,
they dropped the ball because that having just witnessed that aspect of it, I think was my reluctance to finish the film
yeah,
because that day zero, if they knew nothing, to your point, my impression was that he found these things or he went out. I don't even know how to like he was the only one who knew what he knew because they had distanced themselves from humans. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no contact.
because they were on that farm.
Right. And they had done all that defense things basically believing not only are the people bad, but we also got these fucking things out there. Um and that he was so dedicated to that he found these things on his own or discovered them. But I didn't having them land in town was the worst idea because day zero in wherever the hell the movie is supposed to take place. Yes. So they landed in it's not day zero because to your point, unless they landed up the street, let's just say a bunch of these asteroids fell all over the world, that kind of thing. And if one landed nearby, it would have been nice to have several days go by to where not that there's an attack on the street, maybe it ends in that, but there's more before it that shows like a 3 or 4 day lead up.
Yeah,
That's like 3 days before day zero or something like that, where it shows them seeing reports of stuff like no one's heard from Mexico in hours, the power's
yeah,
out and stuff like that. And that's on the news and it's in the background and they're kind of chit chatting over breakfast. But we see it already starting, but our characters don't know it yet. And my point is that if we know that there are several days before it got to them, then it would explain how there was print newspapers that told as much as they did about these things in as much detail that quickly. So basically thinking that lands in Mexico, shit goes dark, other people start writing on it, they send reporters there. That's a couple days, you know what I'm saying? Couple 3 days.
yeah,
Um, even if it kicks off just to fly somebody directly there, it's still 6 hours or wherever you are in
yeah.
or wherever it is in Mexico. It's still 6 hours to the southern tip of Mexico. So 2, 3, 4 hours to get there.
Okay, so you have APA reporters everywhere, right? Or AP
Right.
reporters everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they do video conferencing, a couple hours, set that up, but then you still got to print the newspapers and get those things delivered to
Well,
those
there's
little
that, but
buildings.
it's the live video that I think would have been more impactful for this generation. Is
Yeah,
having the print paper reference from the first movie is just it's eye candy. It's to tell part of the story that the story doesn't want to tell. You know what I mean? They don't want to be that obvious, so they don't want to tell you it. They want to show you it. And
yeah,
so with that, they did they sort of painted themselves into a corner all by themselves in having the opening sequence be what it was. You know what I mean? They it should have been um, this is us on a Tuesday. Shit's gonna hit the fan on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? That kind of
yeah,
thing. And seeing them before in that dynamic before the actual shit hit the fan, and then maybe have a neighbor. I don't know. I don't think that the sequence. I think the sequence was powerful in the sense of guess what movie you're watching right now? Yeah, you're back watching A Quiet Place again. I get that, and to get you back to that tension, only to then have it be The Quiet Place, where it was like, or A Quiet, the first movie, where it's quiet. You know what I'm saying? That there's all this action, then it just stops. Whereas in the first movie, it was like you would see glimpses as flashback, and they would get. So you saw the kid and the boy and
yeah,
this. You saw these things moving forward. There was this impending doom that those things are going to find the farm, Well, with this, we know they've already found the farm, and much to like what we were talking about with Black Widow, why do we care about this movie? Why do we care about this segment if you're showing us what is important to show us before these things showed up, I think. And that's the dynamic with the family. Perhaps it was different from where we met them in A Quiet Place, where now they're this homogenous, traditional man and wife, and they've accepted those roles, whatever. Maybe he's out of work and she's a lawyer, or I forget what the dynamic was at this point, the specifics. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the roles are different, and it's very, they're not doing well, and the kids are, and then shit hits the fan, and and then, to make reference to that, how they've come all the way around since the son
Yeah.
died and all that stuff. But yeah, I need to see it again. But Snake Eyes, let's get back to that, dude. So what did you think of Snake Eyes?
Hated it.
You hated it,
Now let
really?
me tell you why.
Okay.
It made him look like a bitch. Like, I know it's really how it happened. He created, Shadow Storm, and he was vengeful, and then found the way of the ninja or whatever he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But man, I had issues with throughout the whole movie. You know who Snake Eyes is,
Mm-hmm.
and you know some of his backstory,
Right.
and we also know he took a vow of silence. Doesn't talk.
The
They didn't mention any of his vows of silence. Now the clan leader is a woman. Uh, the original Snake Eyes, they happen as a child. This dude's a grown ass man.
Right.
He's
Well, this is the thing. There's been several stories, and okay, with what I have found out, because back in the day I didn't read the comics, so as they came out, I didn't know the side story of, and I didn't remember. I don't remember the actual cartoon that way of knowing the story of the cartoon. I just remember seeing it. Plus, I was in elementary school, so how much was I paying attention? You know what I mean? But for those couple years it was on, and then of course in syndication, that was all I did was watch. I didn't read the comics. So now I guess the first line of official GI Joe comics that came out, it references the Joes as meeting in Vietnam, and they are special forces in and of themselves at that point even, and then they become even more special by becoming the Joes or break off from the military or whatever. I forget the actual aspects of it, but at that point, Snake Eyes is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude who gets damaged. He's in Vietnam, and they all know him as something else.
so,
As I remember, and then he gets his throat gets damaged,
okay.
and he's fucked up because of the war. Finds the way in the ninja, and then I'm
And can't talk.
over,
So there's
totally over correct. In that version, I believe he's damaged. He can't talk. Not that there's a vow. I think in other iterations it became more of like an honor thing with ninjas. Oh, vow
yeah.
of silence and all this. But I don't believe the first iteration from the early 80s that accompanied the toys. I think that comic was it's the one I have now, and I've flipped through the beginning aspects of it. I haven't quite gotten to where I want to yet, but that will fully answer your question. But I think this is the iteration. He's damaged. He's a white blonde dude, and after he's hurt or whatever, injured, he becomes this uncontrollable sort of killing thing, and then has to go through this whole redemption kind of thing, comes out on the other side. Whereas Storm Shadow starts off with the Joes and then goes with Cobra, and then Snake
Okay.
Eyes starts off with Cobra and goes with the Joes. It's
Yeah.
different.
So in this movie, Storm Shadow is the next leader of this very elite Japanese, what they call clan, right? He's
Right.
next in line. His grandma's currently leading.
Oh, Mima's leading?
Yeah, Mima's leading the clan, and Storm Shadow's being groomed
Good for her.
to take the place, right?
She's a badass ninja then, huh? Or what?
Dude, she kills people with a fan. Yeah, I want one of them fans.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, dude, she's pretty badass in the whole movie.
Does it? Let me ask you this. Does it? I, because this is one of the things that I don't know if you listen to podcasts or they do videos now too, but Salty Nerd Podcast. Okay, they're part of the Red 5 Network too, just as a shout out, but completely separate from the Red 5 Network, which is
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her? Salty Nerd Podcast, they review films, right? And they drink and they have fun and they're in Vegas and it's just that kind of energy. You know what I mean? They make fun of movies, and they got a dude who's worked in the industry, and he's a film critic. They got a dude who's just like us, who's just that movie was good or bad because of simplistic reasons. Salty is kind of everywhere, funny and you know that kind of thing, has opinions and knows the industry and that kind of thing. And then they have Jude. She's
Jude?
I'm not gonna say, Jude.
Oh, like Jude Law?
Correct. And she's funny. She's smart too, and she'll kill you with some sarcasm.
Is she single?
I don't know. You have to
Jude, what's up?
follow and like and subscribe to find out.
That's a good plug.
Anyways, they review movies, and a while ago they were either gearing up to do, or they already did. And since I've been doing this, I haven't caught up enough on my podcast, but they were doing old martial arts movies, dude, from like the 70s and the 80s. I'm talking like the Octagon with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, dude, the Octagon, and his brother. What was his brother's name?
He
fought his. No, his brother. There was Chuck Norris, and then Aaron Norris, I think, was his brother. Whenever there was a masked ninja or some shit, 9 times out of 10, that was Chuck Norris's brother that he was fighting. Chuck Norris was fighting his brother, you know, in the movie.
Yeah, he got the short end of the stick, didn't he?
Well, he played the bad guys. He played the guys who would wear masks and stuff like that. Or the ones, like when you had a big fucking fight in a movie and that Chuck Norris was fighting, had a mask on, that was his brother. I think his name was Aaron Norris. I don't know.
Yeah, but nobody knows who he is. So that's what I'm saying. He's got the short end of the stick. Because Chuck Norris, dude? Everybody knows Chuck Norris. He has Chuck Norris jokes.
Yeah, but he's Chuck Norris's brother, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Look at all these movie stars and stuff. Yeah, I'd be absolutely fine. I think if you know,
if you were
took off and just, I'd be absolutely. Oh, the one Baldwin that yeah. Yeah, I'd be that brother. Like who? Eric Baldwin? Who the fuck is that?
I think that's a real Baldwin. I don't know, man. They got a lot of Baldwins.
Yeah, and they do, and they got Bubbas that aren't even related to him. Other Baldwins that aren't. There's one real conservative dude who's in Hollywood. His last name's Baldwin. Adam Baldwin, I think. He is not related to that.
Did Baldwin. They disavow him? They're like, no, we don't know him.
They share a name from like 500 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And then that fucking shit split because the Baldwins now, except one of them, is it Steve? Which one of the famous brothers? There's a conservative Baldwin. Is it Steve? Was it the one that was in I believe the one that was in Usual Suspects? Is that Steve Baldwin?
That had to be Stephen Baldwin, yeah.
Okay. That dude. Yeah. One of the Baldwins is conservative. You know, that just eats the shit out of Alec.
Alec is my mom hates Alec Baldwin, dude.
Now, even if you just set his politics aside, dude is crazy.
That's what she was telling me.
Yeah, even if he was conservative as I don't even know, that motherfucker's crazy.
That's what she was telling me.
Mel Gibson's he's conservative. That dude ain't rocking a full boat either.
No,
Fat Man I enjoyed the shit out of Fat Man. Did you watch Fat Man? Dude, you gotta watch He's Santa. I'm not even gonna tell you anymore. Mel Gibson today with that crazy ass Dave Letterman beard is Santa.
Is he a better Santa than Billy Bob?
The first one?
Yeah, I didn't see the second one. The second one wasn't even worth it.
That'd be like comparing Michael Keaton Batman to Christian Bale Batman, to tell you the truth. Because there's more to Christian Bale's Batman than just Batman. Whereas the original Batman, he's a centerpiece. You You know what I'm saying? The Michael Keaton one, he is the centerpiece in
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But so that's how I would probably describe that. But yeah, I don't know.
Hey, have you watched Doctor Death yet? Speaking of the
Oh, is
ball,
that from homie from Dawson's Creek? What's that dude?
Joshua Jackson,
Yeah, he's in Fringe.
based
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that true story. Hey, that is a crazy ass
No
story.
shit. And what a turn for that dude, because what was that dude's name? Was it Casey? What was his name in Dawson's Creek? Did you ever watch that show?
Oh yeah,
That,
absolutely, one hundred
that
percent. I
was
think
one
it
of those.
was 50.
I was getting ready to go in the army as that was like back here, so I knew it was on, but I didn't really get into it. I had seen episodes. My wife would watch it and shit. I didn't.
Don't lie, bro. You still binge watch it today?
We watched it together, but I didn't like. It wasn't something I taped or anything like that. Taped. Remember that shit? Taping shows. Make sure the. Well, I know
Dubbing? Remember
my
having a
show
dubber?
starts at 6:02. I don't want no fucking commercials, man. You get that 10 seconds of the last commercial, and then your show starts. You're like, yes, got the timing down. Then get pissed because the fucking clock slows down over time, and then like your show's like 3 minutes into it. Motherfucker, I had that problem with that old school fucking VCR, and you're all trying to set the timer and shit
Yeah.
on the clock. Y'all don't know about that. Some of those in chat do. Dude, I gotta turn some lights on. It's getting dark out.
Nah, bro, you look good. You look ominous right now.
I'm all tan, dude. I got that. This is the thing too. What's funny is in my wood pile somewhere. I mean, my mom used to say it all the time, but like
Oh, woodpile. Okay, I got it.
dude, I say yeah, wood pile. I think I got Native American somewhere in my wood pile. My mom used to say it. Now this is my mom. Okay, this is I'm not saying no Elizabeth fucking Warren bullshit right now because I've never played that shit for anything. But I'm telling you right now, Jack. I don't know if you remember. When I tan, I don't get brown. I don't get. Yeah, I don't get brown. I get red. Like my tan is. I'm not saying it looks like Native American, but it looks more Native American than a tan fucking Irish dude with green eyes. You know what I'm saying? My kids are like, "You're fucking beautiful skin." I mean, when
You're
my wife,
glistening.
right, my wife and my kids have olive skin from the whole
Like
Brazil Italian side. They think
antelopes
hard enough.
come trotting to you.
Yeah, they just they think real hard and they fucking tan. And but they cocoa brown. You know what I'm saying? They get the cocoa brown, and it's like, where the fuck's that? Because on my side, I got this. I'll burn like a motherfucker. Don't get me wrong. That
One
Irish
hundred
shit,
percent.
that's like the top level. But once it gets deep, it's like, hi, hi. I got a little bit of that somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? You get somewhere in there. Someone's doing a rain dance or something. I'm just saying, my skin is. But my mom, to getting back to the whole thing, it's not Elizabeth Warren. But my mom said that I had Sioux Indian in me, right? Somewhere back in the woodpile, there's some Sioux Indian in. My mom's redhead with fucking blue eyes. My dad had brown hair, brown eyes. He was Irish. My mom was Irish. I no, my dad had he identified as Irish, and that was back in the day. Like, well, what
Oh,
are
he
you?
was identifying before identifying was cool.
But that was when you were like, well, what are you mostly? Right?
Yeah.
You're white. I could see. What
It's
are
not
you?
what do you feel like?
Right. So with Europeans, it's like, what the fuck? You know, back in the day, it was like, oh, I'm a tree today. No, it's not. So back in the day, if you're European descent, it's like, well, what European descent are you? I don't know if other races do this. So I don't know. But white people, you know. So what are you, German, French? You know, you try to nail it down. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
ever happened to you, but yeah, it's I
100%.
as we all know, like, oh, I'm a quarter this, and so that's just how I was raised. I don't know how the families are or
Yeah.
how precise they've gotten, but in mine, it was like my dad identified as Irish, but I knew in talking with him, there's some English in there and stuff like that because not getting into personal or what is it, a PII right now, but my last name is actually English.
You don't
But
say.
yeah, but my mom is mostly Irish with some German, and my dad is mostly Irish with some English and German.
So there's no
So,
Indian around in your.
well, this is all the predominance. So if you were to just to see my family, and my two brothers are adopted, so if you were to just see my mom and dad and then see me, you'd be like, "Holy fuck, you're from Sweden," you know, something like that, right? But when you
That's
break
what
it down, But my mom, looking as white and as afraid of the sun as she actually was, whenever she did accidentally get some sun, it was always a nice reddish brown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
she would
good
burn
stuff.
and she would have to take care of it, but I have to ease into summer like she does, or yeah, like she used to. Getting old sucks, but yeah, as I've recognized, I have to ease into summer, ease into my sunlight, and then I get like this. Now, if you see this shit, yeah, we won't talk about what's underneath my shirt because that shit will
What
never
is
see the
that?
light of. That's my skin, dude. That's my stomach. My
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
belly button right here, dude.
I
That's my
thought that
stomach.
was a
Look at
TikTok.
that shit. No, I just lifted up my shirt.
Bro, I thought that was a TikTok, dog.
Nah, motherfucker, I'm a
Bro,
tan line. Look at that
yeah,
shit. Hold
you
on, let
have
me get
this
some light
Asian
going.
in you.
Get some light going on in this mofo.
Damn, yeah, I gotta. If we're gonna do this more often, I gotta.
Yeah, dude, look at this shit. And you see, you can't see it better. The
I thought that was a white short sleeve or short shirt underneath
Nah,
there.
dude, that's all stomach. Look at that shit. You see my belly button's right there. It's like fuck bleep.
Bro,
This
you
is the
wear a shirt in the sun?
yeah.
Bro, I let all
No,
my
dude,
hang
I,
out,
do, I
bro.
don't. Not usually. I've been self conscious. I'm extremely not what I
Don't
used to.
don't worry
My
about
skin.
that, bro.
I'm not now. I don't now. Like I'm transitioning away from that. And my wife,
Bro, I just
in
let my
fact,
whole fat hang out, dog. My bitch tits and everything. I just let all those hang out.
earlier today I went. My daughter saw me coming back from the. I had my headphones in, no shirt on. I was in no shoes. Coming back from the mailbox. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, nothing. I was actually transitioning from being in here. I was working stuff. I took off a sweatshirt and a shirt was inside of it because I was out here when it was still 65 degrees in the morning, whatever. And so I had a sweatshirt and a t-shirt on. So I took the sweatshirt off, the t-shirt went with it, and I was like, oh, fuck it, whatever. I didn't care. I just wanted to go to the post to the mailbox, whatever. But yeah, dude, I don't care.
Bro, I
And
just
this is part of my sort of not hiding anymore. Is just like, yeah, I fucked up in the head. I had some internal issues that were undiagnosed, some things up here that were undiagnosed, and stress and lost weight, and now it's a journey back to healthiness. And so
yeah, there you
doing the
go.
stretching and stuff, I had some because of so much weight loss so fast. I mean, I had joint issues and I already had arthritis from the damn military and stuff like that. So it was like everything was compounded and I didn't feel like moving. It was just all kinds of shit. And then that's all gone. So this journey back, and I'm at a place where I can not only talk about it, but feel comfortable bringing people in who are at a point where I used to be and saying, that's, helping out in that
Yeah.
fashion. So um, this is a little too bright. I think I like the
I
mood
think it's
lighting.
reflecting off your stomach.
You're making white jokes,
Dude,
racist bastard.
I let everything hang out, bro. I don't care. I know I'm fat. I know I got some fucking gynecomastia or gynecologist or whatever on my chest where I got
You got
bitch
a
tits.
how'd you get a gynecologist on your chest,
I
dude?
got those bitch tits, bro, where I took steroids and now I have
Oh,
actual
you
like
you got Bob tits?
yeah,
Remember
bro.
Bob from Fight Club?
Yeah.
Is that what they call them? Bitch tits? Bob's got bitch tits. Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
it's I think it's called gynecomastia.
Really? When you took steroids, now you got boot. You can like milk and stuff. You're half a
Well,
tranny.
so yeah, so there's actually I've been going down rabbit holes, bro, where you
Oh,
watching surgeries. I think I want to get the surgery would take the fat out
no
so I can
shit.
have my muscle back. Because I fucked myself up, dude. Like no matter how much I work out, like you can see, I get pecs
Hmm.
up top. I get a little bit, but I still have those
Right. Hmm.
pointy, saggy titties,
Hmm.
and I fucked myself up. So don't take steroids.
There you go. Especially don't take steroids when you're overseas.
But bro, that
That's
was
just
because I came back looking like not Captain America, maybe like Lieutenant America, like Second Lieutenant America. You know what I'm saying?
like halfway in the process, not quite cooked yet.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I looked all right,
Hmm.
but as soon as I stopped, the titties came. I have like pepperoni nipple. It's crazy.
Dude, I fluctuated in the military based off of a variety of things, but I was always over. I had to get taped because at my height, I am like a. I don't, it doesn't matter. I'm self censoring certain over the top, unnecessary stuff that I would typically use for flavor, but I'm not going to. Anyways, I was very close to 6 feet. I'm like just a hair underneath it, right? So I go by 6 feet.
Oh, cut hair.
I do, yeah. I do that shit, right? And so I'm 6 feet, and they're like at 200 pounds, you got to be taped. And so 6 months. So I get through basic training. Or when I went to basic training, I started off. I was a solid. I was like this, straight. There was no shape to me whatsoever. I wasn't skinny. I wasn't fat. It was just like
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And I lost weight and then gained this weight, and I literally had to get my class A's refitted 3 times. So I was measured and had them refitted 3 times to include the day before graduation from basic training, because I was just, and then so by the time that I got to my unit and I started getting that DFAC food, kid, forget about it. That plus continuing the workouts that I was doing. I mean, you get that, you just look like a Viking at that point. You're not The Rock, and I'll
No.
never look like The Rock. I don't want to eat keto. Sorry, bless his heart, and anyone who needs to, cool.
Have you
But
seen this dude's diet?
dude, if you choose to eat that way, I have no sympathy for you
My-
because I can't do it. I would
That's all
rather
good,
work
dude,
out
because he
and
has, like,
justify a
17
pizza.
meals a day or something like that.
Oh yeah, dude. When you're doing that, when you get that big, your caloric intake has to be fucking insane.
It's
Because
nuts.
yeah, because all he's doing in between takes and stuff is he's working out so that when the camera rolls, he's just pulsating every
And
single
he
time.
is pulsing too, boy. I got me
That-
salivating.
That dude's crazy ass. I mean, it's unrealistic for you and me
Oh, absolutely.
with our genetic background to look at The Rock and say, that's what I want to look like. Well, that's fucking cute, Skippy. And that's the thing with working out and even with women too, is that because you lift weights doesn't mean you're going to look like Cindy
I think-
Crawford or, you know what I'm saying? It's not, that's genetics.
Yeah.
And she works out. So
And that's,
she's
they get paid to
blessed
do
with
that.
it. Right. And I mean, if I was an actor and I could work out 6 hours a day and have a fucking chef who feeds me this kind of food and all kind, you know what? Yes, maybe I would eat a little bit better, but I'd still have pizza. It would just be better for me than Domino's, or
You know-
Pizza Hut or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
At
I'd
this
still
point-
drink. I'd still smoke. I would still do those things. Maybe I'd smoke better quality Dominican Republic fucking cigars, but I'd still smoke, Domos anyways, because Cubans are. Everybody knows that
At this point, I
the
give up
DR's
hope,
got the better cigars.
and
I'm
the
sorry,
best
what?
I'm going to look like is Jonah Hill.
Do what?
The best I'm going to look like is Jonah Hill, bro. I don't care. I'm talking
Nah,
Jonah
man.
Hill from Super Bad, not Jonah Hill now after he lost all that weight.
Right. Nah, dude, but we're overseas, dude, and you get that prison mentality. Yeah, we fuck around. We got our fucking Xboxes and our fucking barracks in a brick building and
Yeah, but you were in the gym 3 hours a day when you had time.
with air conditioning. What'd you say?
You're in the
Say
gym 3 hours a day when you have time.
Yeah, I mean, you basically work 12-hour days. I mean, you were on the clock as it were, because we would get up, we'd all meet up at the gym, we would all do something different, maybe together or whatever. There were a lot of times I would ruck with just this is back when MP3s were new, and I loved my MP3, dude. I fucking loved it.
Which one did you have?
I don't remember. I didn't have an iPod for years. I did not have an iPod. I had some cheap MP3 knockoff.
Oh, I had a Zune, a Microsoft Zune, which was my fucking favorite.
No shit. Well, you were right behind me though. I got out of the military in 2005. So you were right after me. So you benefited from webcams and Zoom, video calls and shit like that. We had that.
I didn't
in
have
Kuwait.
any of that shit.
In Kuwait there was, yeah.
I didn't have that.
No? There was
All
you
I
had to
had
go
was
to
cell
camp.
phones where you had to call DSN lines. Hey, can you connect me to?
You can go to you could have gone to Doha. Well, when I was there in 04, 05. Well, before then too, but when I was stationed there, they had on Doha, they had video booths where it was a tent and it was like everybody was having a test, and there was a computer in front of you, and
I never had any of that shit.
you could pay. It was AT&T. You paid.
I wasn't gonna pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had to buy phone cards, scratch the thing off, and call.
Oh, the DSN, dude. I'd call Germany and have Germany connect me, or I'd call
No,
somewhere. That's how we did that shit. And I call
my
my wife all the time. I think I showed up with calling cards, and I think I
my
used them. And then the guy I was replacing before he left, he was like, "Oh, by the way, in that drawer, that's the drawer on how to get over while you're stationed in this hellhole. Bye." And I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" I opened this drawer. He had a fucking not a journal, but he had like several notes in there, and one of them was like, "Use this DSN. It'll never cost you anything, and they're cool." And there's other things too, like how to get over with mail, and how to be there, know when the mail's gonna get there, and get it before everybody else. So you're not in that 4 hour line and shit like that. Just stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it was good shit. But yeah, dude, video calls that MP3, I would go out and I'd ruck up and I would just get some shoes on, some shorts. I think that was Under Armour was new. It was that wicking technology was
Yeah,
maybe a
what did they call it?
couple years into it. The heat gear
Moisture
or
Wick.
whatever,
Yeah,
moisture wicking, right? That was yeah, it was like 2 or 3 years old, and Under Armour was in the PX overseas and all that stuff, and so I'd have something like that
expensive
on,
as fuck.
yeah, and then go just throw a hat on and just go walk around base, that kind of shit for the time frame, and that sometimes you just gotta do that. Other times we were pushing heavy shit across the room or whatever have you, but it was the unorthodox shit. We would get some weights in, traditional weights in, but we did a lot of medicine ball shit. So it was mostly and pushing weight,
So like
literally.
CrossFit.
Right. So it was more like we wanted to handle who was in front of us. We wanted to keep them like a bear. We needed to keep them here.
Yeah,
And so we trained to be powerful in that either pulling or boom, that kind of thing, instead of
yeah.
just looking like Thor. Because yes, he has power, but in order to look like Thor, you have to eat a certain way. And with that, your
Then they
muscles are
had,
going to look like that, but you're not going to have the power if
and then they had free ice cream in the defect.
not only that, but you
No
should have
way I
seen
was gonna
my
look like
dude.
Thor.
I would take I was taking pictures because I had the disposable digital cameras at that time, and then the actual developing film and shit. I would take pictures of the set. My wife's like, "Are you eating salads?" I'm like, yeah. I'd come up in conversation. She's like, "Bullshit." So I'd show her pictures, and it was like it was salad, but it had
Eggs,
every
chicken, cheese, 4 packets of Thousand Islands dressing.
crackers, ham chunks, chicken chunks,
Well,
throw
yeah,
bacon.
there's some green under there
Dude,
somewhere.
I'd mix that shit. Every aspect, every leaf in there had like a mixture of egg, bacon, like every bite. You know what I'm saying? It was just fucking totally,
Dude, the salads overseas were the best because you could just whatever you wanted.
totally. Anytime, anytime they were open serving that shit, you just go. There were times where we knew where there were several times where we would go eat, but we would eat like boiled eggs or we would eat something small to have something in our system because we were about to go
Yeah,
work out hard or go do something. But the DFAC would still be open for breakfast when we were done. And then we would come back and actually have breakfast
you get
after
those
that.
French toast sticks and
Fuck it. And then go back and get seconds and shit.
those big ass omelets with all the cheese, bacon.
Especially,
Yeah, dude.
especially at the end of like when breakfast is getting ready to end and they just got to throw that shit out. And you're like, hey, can I get some more French toast? They're like, fucking take it.
Here you go.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic, dude. But yeah, it's that Viking sort of build. It's just it's a denseness that it's defined. I'm never gonna have. I think I have an 8 pack now, but it's like I have like no body fat.
that's all
So
ribs, bro.
right, but yeah, it's like it's just one of those things. But I'm enjoying the you know the activity and doing that and
Yeah,
going
and I
back to
know
the
I'm never
original.
gonna get a 6 pack. I mean, the best I'm gonna hope for is maybe a 4 pack and be able to carry my gun a panic carry again without it hurting.
Well, I'm more concerned with being able to do what I need to do if I ever need to do it than how I look. And
I'm not
with that
worried.
comes, and I basically think and this is how my wife described it. You know how, uh, to a degree, what Affleck looks like in
Batman,
in Batman,
the worst
or
Batman ever,
huh,
the worst Batman ever.
or Matt Damon in Born Identity. That's sort of the body style, like the power you could see that dude. You know, the
I mean,
chest and the
that's
back. My back, dude, I was looking at pictures from 2 years ago when me and my family were at the range, and I had a shirt that fit, but I was doing a stance and I was leaning forward, and my fucking back, dude, like literally you could see my back. And I was like, because now I'm washing with soap, and I'm like, there's my T3, 4, 5, 6. Like I can feel every bone, you know, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, ugh. And there were times like I would have to like pull my arm because my arms were bigger, you know, because 40, 60 pounds heavier. And the way my arms were, I couldn't, like, I'd have to be in a certain position. Now I could just flop my arm over and, like, oh, I could reach that spot. My shoulder blades, I could fuck it, you know, I'm like, ugh. It just feels like what it feels, excuse me, what it feels like to me. Like, I can feel being too skinny and how self-conscious that is. I know now, like, if you're overweight and you're self-conscious, like you're aware of you're aware that everyone's aware that you're overweight,
hey,
and I'm aware when I go out and I wear shorts that people are like, holy fuck, that dude's skinny. I, and I'm aware of it, but I still go out. It's that kind of mentality.
it's
That's
okay.
what. No, I know, but oh, totally, and I'm that building up. I
Yeah,
was walking, looking like that, and felt good. I was walking in the fucking store, dude. I was like, yeah, it just worked out, and
they're
you
gonna.
know, I
It's
was,
okay, man.
dude. I came around this thing. I came around this neighborhood, dude. I'd done two, and I had 40-pound weights, and then I just stuffed, um, water, and a bunch of other heavy shit in my rucksack, and I had 40-pound vest on top of that. And my wife's like, yes, you can now start working out, but why are you gonna try to kill yourself? Because the doctor wanted me to wait. They were doing tests and stuff. Anyways, and so I was like, let's go. And she's like, ease into this. And that she talked me into yoga and shit like that. Well, anyways, I'm not going to ever run again because that shit's stupid unless I'm being chased. I want to be in a position to run
Nah,
if I
bro.
need to. But swimming, I'd like to get my cardio up. But yeah, cycling and
These colors don't run, dog.
the, uh, that's funny. But yeah, so I'm not in, I will build up to running because what I would like to do is get back into a damn. I want to do another mud run, and I think that's what my wife and I are gonna
What is
train
wrong with you?
this year for. Dude, obstacle courses were my shit, dude. That's my fucking thing right there. Damn obstacle course. I'm gonna do a blast on. I'm
You're
gonna.
fucking retarded.
Nah, dude. I love fucking obstacle courses, dude. That was my jam in the military. And my wife, she was extremely. She was softball, soccer, and dance in high school.
You
Those
know
were the
what you
P.
need?
Those were the PE she had. So she was down like a clown when we did it. I think we did it in 2017. We did on Fort Carson. We did the Spartan
You
run.
know, you know what you need?
Me, my nephew, my wife, and her brother.
Get a man bun.
A man bun.
Yeah.
I did. I got the Chad going on. You see that?
Get a
You
man
see,
bun.
I
No,
got the
no,
short on
bro.
the sides and
You look
the
too conservative right now. Get a man bun, and you fit in.
a man. But dude, have you been on a Spartan run? If
Listen,
you
I'm not
do
talking
it,
about a Spartan run. I'm talking about your politics right now.
my politics.
Yeah, you look like a liberal
See what? What did I say? That I
because you're
wanted to do a
skinny.
Spartan run? Huh?
Because you're skinny.
Oh shit. Sounding like a liberal because I'm skinny. Nah, no, dude. No, the difference is if I was liberal right now, I'd be saying the reason I'm skinny is because of your fat ass. You're eating all the food.
You're right.
If you
Hey,
give
bro,
me more food,
I'm about to order Wendy's too,
you better give me half those fries, dude.
dude.
Reparations or whatever
Whoa, you can't
for
say that word.
being a halvesy. That's
Oh
funny.
shit.
Let me do a. We're all fuck. Well, that's the thing too. Like my mom going back to the Sioux Indian thing. My mom said, "Now I do have to say I don't know where my mom came from because my mom was like 5'8", 5'9", 5'7", I don't know. But my grandma was this itty bitty. She was below 5, and she was strong as shit. Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's
she was
definitely some kind of damn.
she, no. She was tiny as all hell, right? And she looked when you looked at older pictures of her
Oh,
after
that's
my mom
German.
said that shit. I was like, I can kind of see where she's coming from because it was my grandma. It was my grandma's side of the family that this supposed heritage came from. So I
That's
could see it
German.
a little bit when she was young. German. What'd you
Dude,
say?
there's fucking Germans are fucking stocky, dude.
No, I'm talking about the skin color, the Sioux Indian skin color, and all the stuff we were
Oh,
talking
okay.
about before. Is that
Huh.
now that I'm thinking about it, my grandma when I saw younger pictures of her when she was young, facial features, it was like, maybe I don't know, just like I could kind of, but again, I never used it. But yeah, going back to that is
Go
that
get you some casino, bro.
I got stuff from I'm an affiliate and I used to sell this stuff, but because of I started to lose weight and I got out of the gym and COVID and all that shit, I stopped pushing it. But I have cricket protein and creatine and a bunch of other shit that I use here that I've been having shakes in addition to 3 meals a day, but they're not like a meal. So I'm
Yeah.
building up all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And as well as and then trying to snack in between, but putting that protein shake in there. It's just like it feels good. It's like I was walking into Walmart or whatever, pick something up, and my posture and everything is all better. And it's just that sort of confidence
Good,
that goes
bro.
along with it. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's just one of those things, dude. That yeah, it's weird that it's not even self consciousness as a fact. It's like I'm aware of it. Like I'm
Yeah.
aware of,
It's your mentality.
I, right, exactly. And so it's just it. No one cares. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. And so why am I self conscious about anything that I'm self conscious about? Because ultimately no one cares.
They're not even gonna remember you.
Right, exactly. It's just a fart in the wind and be like, oh look at that motherfucker. And dude, I go in slippers. I go hair all. Dude, I've rolled out of bed with beard, like bed beard. My shit's all like this. I'm
Oh,
trying to
dude.
comb it down. I haven't wetted it or anything. I just go in and get my cigars. I'm just like, hey, what's going on? She's like, I'm like, yeah, I know. I just woke up.
I go to
I don't
7-Eleven
care.
without underwear on, and I got I got big ass balls, and
Big
no
ass balls.
and no
Big
pin.
ass balls.
Like
How
my nuts are huge,
they're huge.
and no
How
penis.
how how huge are they? You have no dick. You have
None.
2 kids. How do you have no dick but you have two
Bro, it's
kids?
like it's small, right? So
It's just it's like a it's like a rain bird. It just
this thing
and
is
your
sitting
wife.
on top of the balls, and so it's just pointing straight out, flaccid. And I just go to 7-Eleven like that. It don't matter.
Looking like baby Superman from the first
Just
movie.
just the thing pointing out, but you can see the balls, and women are attracted to balls, bro,
Is that where it's at?
because it's in their mind that the bigger the balls, the more kids you can bear.
I see. Is that like wide
That's,
hipped women and stuff like that?
yeah, that's what I tell
Childbearing
myself.
hips.
Yeah,
I think someone lied to you, but it does sound like a good story.
but I got huge balls. I actually think there might be cancer.
All 3 of them. They're huge. Don't show me. Sit down, dude. What are you doing? I thought you were gonna check them
Oh, I
out.
was getting ready to whip it out. I think good
Do
thing.
like my buddy Johnny from my what was it the barracks days? Motherfucker, hold dick and balls
Hey,
in
does
hand.
this look normal to
Does
you?
this look right to you? What, dude? Try to be helpful. All you're looking at is fucking.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what people think, bro. Fuck them.
Oh, I don't get no. And see, that's the thing too. Is like what was
Uh
interesting is
oh, who's that?
this was the first time Miss Martin Muse. My contacts are fucked up. Yep,
Oh, she
she's
says hi,
hi.
roses, and she liked my big balls.
Well, I think you read a little bit into that, but yeah, we met. She's a YouTuber and she does her thing over there,
Hello, Miss
and
Martin
I'm
Muse.
broadcasting out. We follow each other. It's got to be a couple years now. Yeah,
Yeah,
we all different flavor of. We
I
both
do
have different
apologize.
flavors of. Well, she knows, dude. I've streamed with her as well. We used to do a thing. I think last summer there was a bunch of us. She started off doing it. She's very busy, and so she couldn't do it like at the time frames a bunch of other of us could do it. And so she was there a couple times, and a few of us would get together and do something like this, like every Sunday or every other Sunday or something like that for a few months. It was kind of fun. But from that sort of bore out my idea for what we're doing now. So
Dude,
that's
I'm
cool.
gonna
It's cool she jumped in. Thank you for showing up. That's outstanding.
next
That's
time
outstanding.
we get together, hopefully I'll be live streaming playing Xbox.
There you go. Get yourself a Twitch account, dude. And then you don't need all the jazz all up front because through your Xbox, you could USB your camera right into your
Yep.
Xbox, and Twitch will do the rest. And if you have a headset,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
so
I'm gonna be
yeah.
talking all kinds of shit playing video games because I haven't played a Madden since what Madden 16 or something like that.
Well, yeah.
And my son was talking shit. I was like, oh, I'm good. I beat this dude so hard
No
on
shit.
all Madden.
Was that Kaepernick's last year? I'm just curious. Or
I I
Kaepernick's
think
year,
I,
the year
I, I
he
think
started.
so, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was
So
that season.
I played with the Jets and beat this dude.
Dude, I love that game.
He was the
I
Saints. I beat him with the Jets. What are you doing, bro? Like,
That's what I need to do. I need to, and that was one of the things that, as far as streaming goes, is that it was hard for me to find people who I was hanging out with that enjoyed playing the games that I did at the time I was playing them, and then trying to meet up with them to do it all live before the whole streaming shit happened. But I love playing games with people I know. You know what
oh
I'm
yeah,
saying? And it really truly doesn't matter what the game is. And Madden is one of those I found. That and the new baseball. If I play against a human, it is completely different. Yeah, it's great to have you jump in chat. It's outstanding. It's old school, dude. There's a whole bunch of people that are moving in their own universes now. It's fantastic. They've launched, and
yeah,
there's this
dude.
whole a whole bunch of stuff happening around them, and to watch these people over years see that happen, it's fantastic. So yeah, it's great. We I've seen stuff that she's done, she's seen stuff I've done, but it's the first time I think that she's jumped in chat since I started doing this aspect of it since November, so that's outstanding. But yeah, dude, it the gaming aspect of it, especially with Madden, it changes the whole dynamic. To do the whole online and you pay for the characters and do all that became frustrating to me through Madden
The
because it was
Ultimate Team.
yeah it
That's all I play.
when the game first comes out or when that function first came out, there was like this learning curve, and it was okay because everyone fucking sucked, and then there was that day where all the kiddies who had been playing it 24 hours straight before school started or some bullshit because it always came out in August. They all figured shit out, and that one fucking weekend I tuned in, started losing. I couldn't fucking win nothing. It was just it, and then it became why even bother? It was like I had no chance of winning. It's very similar to Call of Duty. Call of Duty had this, I think, fairly long learning curve, and then there was just one weekend, dude, that I tuned in, and I was like, I couldn't do shit. It
If
made
you want to
it,
be a better gamer, get a PlayStation
why do you say that?
because those people suck,
Really?
dude. Well, at least okay. So this is speaking from before PlayStation 5 came out. I would transition
Excuse me.
from Xbox One Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
getting a plus 2.5 KD, to going to PlayStation and getting like a plus 17 KD,
No shit.
and it was I don't know, man. I think there's more kids on PlayStation and
Hmm.
more real gamers on Xbox.
That may be because what I have seen is when they do these streams when they're playing console games, it's always Xbox.
Yeah,
But I gravitate toward Xbox shit, so maybe it's front
yeah.
loaded.
Xbox is
But
definitely, to me. Obviously, this is my humble opinion.
mhm.
Xbox it has a lot more competition involved with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that especially now that Bethesda, I think that completely changed the entire industry, and we're gonna see an Xbox leaning industry. I would say Sony had not a monopoly, but it was definitely a PlayStation 5 world or PlayStation world for years. I mean, when games would come out and they'd be advertised, it was always like on PlayStation in November, also on these, also on Xbox. But it was never like the Xbox was advertising these games coming out. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It was predominantly PlayStation money or whatever it was. But now that Xbox is, dude, playtime's over, kid. They're like, nope. We've got Microsoft Studio, which is pretty fantastic, but the stuff that it comes out like every so often. But yeah, it's pretty fantastic. And if you're
Yep.
an Xbox person, you get that shit through Xbox Live day one, and that
Yeah.
shit is fantastic.
And I
Um,
pay
and then now there's
is it
Bethesda,
$13 a month or something like that for Xbox Live with
15, yeah,
the Game Pass, and then you get the EA Sports Game Pass.
and it's convertible to your PC as well as that aspect of it. So it's Xbox on your, it's you have access to those games, but even EA Play, you can download the app on your laptop, and then it's the same thing. You have games and stuff through EA, the sports games and Star
Yep.
Wars, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and
Yeah.
anything EA has published. The Sims. My daughter loves Sims 4, and it's on every computer in the house. And so whenever one's free and she wants to play, she just jumps on it. And EA Play is just, she's never known to pay for any of that. You know what I mean? It's just, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
To have access to those many games, and then not only in addition to that, it's like, especially if you're by yourself, it might be a little different. But because there's three of us who game in the house, me and my kids, but we all game different things, there are lots of stuff I have found that my oldest, who kind of dips in, she likes racing games, but she'll dip into like other goofy shit every once in a while. I found her. I came downstairs and she was, what was she playing? And it was through the EA. She was playing one of the EA games that was, it was one of the older ones or whatever. But she was like, "What the hell is this? Is so fun!" And she was playing with her boyfriend. So it was like, because he was like, "Oh, this game's so old." Yeah, it's free, and it downloads real quick because I think it was from the original Xbox or from the Xbox 360. It
Yeah.
was one of those 360 games where so it just downloads real quick, and I don't know. They just have fun with it. But she likes those, and then my youngest, she does a bunch of horse games because she's all into horses, and
Is
she
there anything?
rides. Yeah, they've got, what is it, Star Stables and stuff. They're online only games, and they're very cheap, and they're pretty cool for what she does. They're little adventures horses can go on. The horses look pretty good, and they do stuff like that. And it's like social sort of, and then
Yeah.
they chat and whatever, and you can build a stable and bigger houses and more bigger ranch and do those. It's sort of Simish in that, like the Sims in that fashion.
Yeah.
There are other things too that, but when she's down here, she does. We still have the old Wii, and so she'll hook up the what the hell is it called, the Disney, I think Disney Infinity, and she'll play those games
Oh, the
from,
Mario game that not
no,
Mario. Mickey Mouse?
it's Mickey Mouse, but it's like all the Disney IPs were under it, and it was this big open sandbox thing. So you could be the Star Wars characters, you could be Marvel characters, you could be Mickey
Oh, I've never
Mouse,
seen that one.
and it's this huge. They stopped making it. It was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. And what you did is when you to get a character that was playable in the game, you would buy at the store a character, and then you
Oh, the
placed it on this.
Amiibos or whatever they're called.
Right. And then you place it on this pad that would then recognize that that's what it was. And then the pad also had like special bonuses you could put on it, little other things that would then add to the game, but you would have to pay for it to do that. It didn't add to the game. It was just, I want to play as this person type thing. That was it. And we would collect them, and that it became that sort of thing. But it's totally open world. And then much like, I will say, like an older version of Mario, or Link, or Zelda, let's just say, like Zelda, like there's a bigger map, and let's just say that's the sandbox. But then there's like a castle that takes you to a land that you can have this entire totally different adventure with its own vehicles and things and this and that. It follows the same rules of physics as the other stuff, but it's like
So
Winnie the Pooh land or something like that. And then you have Tatooine, and then you have the Marvel headquarters that you can go visit and be around there, but it's completely separate from the sandbox you all start in. And in the sandbox, you can talk with other kids or players, but you can also buy things and interact with leveling up and learning the game and those kinds of things. And so it's like, I don't know, it
so
was absolutely genius, and she still plays it.
I completely underutilized my Wii then.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't know that was an option.
Well, we primarily got it, and we never got the newer Wii. I got the newest old Wii, and we got it primarily for Just Dance, because all three of my girls, they dance. My wife and everything is just, she taught Zumba. My wife's danced since she was a kid, and she's always been in sports, but also did dance off to the side. So in school, in junior high and high school, she's on the dance team, and that
Huh.
kind of thing. The girls who would run out for basketball and that kind of shit, and then they would put on multiple shows throughout the year. Yeah, my wife did that shit, as well as softball and soccer. So our girls, every time, my wife's like, every single time, and she's cooking, whatever, and the kids growing up, it's just like, oh, this is
You're
my
married to
jam.
Hispanic?
Say what?
You're married to Hispanic?
She's Brazilian. Yeah.
What is that? Latina?
Well, it's Portuguese, so it's Latin, but it's not Hispania, Hispanic, yes, but it's not,
I don't know. Either way, she's not. She has rhythm, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and with the feistiness of an Italian. So that's fun.
Yeah. Great.
So yeah, no, it's good times. But yeah, dude, the kids dance and stuff, and that's primarily why we got it. We're like, holy shit! And of course, my wife gets in there, and then it's just like she's teaching them how to do this. It's hysterical. It's fun. But the Wii, what was funny about the Wii is they'd try to get me to do it, and that was the big fun. Have Dad do it, and I was like, yeah, no problem. And they were all up there shaking it, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm getting the wand to do the movements, but I'm just sitting on the couch. They were getting pissed, and they're all sweating and shit, and I'm winning because I'm hitting whatever it's supposed to do, and I'm just on the couch doing this shit. The driving stuff with the
Yeah.
Wii was a little maddening. I do like having a joystick on
Are you
on
talking with
this,
the steering wheel?
right, where you had to get the steering wheel that you put the
The,
Wii
the remote in and yeah.
joystick. That was the only way I could get the kids to not fucking, that they couldn't get it in their mind for some reason. But when I put it in the wheel, they were like rock stars after that.
Yeah.
Dude, playing Mario Kart with them when they figured out that shit, even as kids, I'm talking like 8, 9, they were like, Dad, you're in the dust, motherfucker. That kind of now. But on the Switch, when we do Mario Kart on the Switch now, we're back to the old days. Dad's just,
Killing
oh
them.
look, Dad
Because it's no
opened up
steering wheel.
he opened up a new track. Oh, having a joystick, dude, or a controller, forget about it. I'm all over that.
Did you see the new Zelda game that came out? What is it? Sacred Swords?
No,
Sky Swords?
is that the one you have to pre-order, or is that the one that looks like it's
I
water
think it
paint?
just came out last Friday.
Is that the one that's kind of dreamy and looks like it's like water paint and stuff? Because that one
Yes.
I didn't care for. I only saw the back of it. I was like, nah, because
I
I was
think
thinking
that's
about getting a Zelda game. And there's
It's
another
brand
one
new on the
too.
Switch. And I was a
There's
little disappointed.
oh no
My
shit.
daughter, we went to GameStop on Skyward Sword. And that came out. Oh, wait. Oh, no, it comes out. Wait a minute. It's a re release. Okay.
I shouldn't have put interview. I think I labeled this thing interview with Chris. I just said live with Chris.
Oh, interview. Go ahead, interview me, bro.
So I'm just nah. This was I. Believe me when I tell you, I forgot how to set this up. That's why I'm so glad I'm doing this on a more regular basis, because with my shit I haven't taken notes. And I was like, how do I get Chris I thought I was doing something wrong or whatever. I couldn't figure that shit out. I had OBS up. So
So
it's
I
all
was a
good.
little upset. Last Friday we went to GameStop. I took the kids. We went to. It wasn't last Friday. It was Thursday. We went to Manitou Springs. We went to the arcade up there.
Oh yeah.
The penny arcade or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Mm-hmm.
And only like 3 of those games are penny arcades, by the way. The rest of them take quarters. Now we went up there, but we went to GameStop after Red Robin, and I asked my daughter. I said, "Hey, you want the new Zelda game for your Switch?" No, because she plays the Zeldas on the Nintendo
TV.
emulators.
Yeah.
And I said, "Why don't you want that?" I'm just not into it. About to beat your butt right here in the middle of GameStop. What are you talking about? You're not into it. So I was a little upset, man.
Yeah, dude, I had that same I love when I wanted to share games with the kids or my wife, especially when she was younger. And I got that shit too. Sometimes they'll sit down like they're like Red Dead Redemption 2. My youngest has been into
Never
horses and
played
she's
that
been
one.
riding horses for like 5. She's 14, so 5, 6 years. And so when Red Dead 2 came out, and she was watching, and well, before it came out, I was playing the first Red Dead Redemption, and then she just saw me riding a horse. She would sit. I'd have headphones on, and she'd come down in the morning, and we'd wave, and she'd lay on me and just watch with no sound. Just watch as I was riding around Red Dead Redemption. And when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and she saw that horse, like she just saw the game, and but she was like, that like running through like a river, like how the game is just gorgeous in and of itself. She's like,
That
you
game
just
is
watch that.
free too on the Game Pass.
That game's awesome, dude. That game.
Dude, I've never played 2. I played 1, and I didn't get anywhere close to being done with 1 because I keep doing the side quest. I'm one of those people. Oh, rabbit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. And that's part of the fun too. Well, and this one's like that too. This one has cuts off though. It had cutoffs. So if you get to a certain point of the game, you can't go back, or you can't find what you could have if you had only found it prior to this aspect of the game. Because once the story goes, you can't not have tuberculosis again. You know what I'm like? Your character in Red Dead Redemption 2 gets tuberculosis because it's a prequel to Red Dead Redemption. So Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place beforehand. So it's the gang that the protagonist in the first movie or in the first game was hunting. So during Red Dead Redemption, when you're hearing the story of the gang that the first dude ran with,
Yeah.
we get to see that gang in Red Dead Redemption 2. And so the character
No
from the
shit.
first game is part of the gang, but he's not the main character. He's just part of the gang. And so there's the main character that you play and the main bad guy, boss, that you interact with. You interact with other people to include, I think Marsden is his name. You interact with him, but you play a completely different character in Red Dead Redemption 2 until a certain point. Then you play as
I'm gonna. So
the Red Dead Redemption. You finish the story as the Red Dead Redemption character that then leads into Red Dead Redemption.
so when I first played Red Dead Redemption, I was still in the army. I just got done with shoulder surgery, and I was sitting there playing my Xbox, shoulders in a sling like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on 30-day convalescent leave, so every day just
Oh yeah, dude.
playing
Mm-hmm.
like this.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, that game was so bad. I think I'm gonna attempt to play Red Dead 2 and
Mm-hmm.
then finish Red Dead 1.
Here's what I like to do. Okay, I know we've been bullshitting for a second, but I'm gonna with what we're talking about. It fits. What we're building, what I started to talk to you about with Brad, my buddy that I guarantee you will get to know here shortly. Simply because I think you need to be involved too. We'll talk offline if you don't want to talk publicly about it, but I have this idea. I had this idea I proposed to Brad based off of the whole D&D thing and streaming D&D. I thought that would be fun. And then I was like, oh, hey, we could stream other games too because I know he games. He's got a Switch and an Xbox. And so I'm like, holy shit, all these Switchers and Xboxers, we need to hook this shit up. And who better, get a little game party going on for four people type thing. And we do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Where we're playing, but we're on Twitch. And that I think would be fucking fun as all hell because they'd be seeing me, but they'd be hearing three other people playing with me, like you and Brad and whoever else type thing, as we play these different games against each other or with each other. And it's not only the community, but it's healing. It's the talking. It's sometimes it'll get real. Sometimes we talk about our wives and having military wives and or having wives who were or who had had a wife like yourself who was also in the military and also deployed and what that does to you as a husband and her as a wife and those kinds of things. And so talking about these things in this setting where we're separated but we're close enough for vets to express ourselves but not feel threatened because someone's not they're not in the room with us.
Yeah.
We're still having a conversation, but building a community of people who love the game and people who love to watch this game, as well as different aspects, playing Red Dead Redemption 2, these games that they're games we want to play and we want to play together, but they're not necessarily the games everybody's playing right now.
Not anymore.
Or maybe there is one that we're looking forward to. There's a new Rainbow Six coming out soon. So, things like that. But then playing and then building this community of veterans that game together and those kinds of things and that have these sorts of discussions and talks and smokes and gets down into the weeds and has shitty humor and those kinds of things. And yeah, we need to stop playing games on an island. We need to get out there and bullshit and have fun and it changes the aspect of the game. And there is a time and a place to play by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not with yourself because you'll go blind, but by yourself. If you play
what's wrong with me?
Yeah, exactly. You got the hairy palms and you got the glaucoma. But yeah, dude. And that's basically it. And then through that is, what are they? We were toying around. We hadn't come up with an idea for a name yet. And he bought the books or whatever, and I told you about that, and I was like, holy shit, dude, now I got to do this. We were kind of joking about it. But then he was like, nah, dude, I got this name for it, D&D 214. So DD 214, but it's D&D 214. So they're like, all right, let's roll with that, dude. Here we go. And what's funny, I mean,
you're
don't
gonna get
say
in
it out
trouble
loud.
for saying that name out before he
No.
gets a chance to copyright that.
No. This is what we're doing. This he and I are doing this together, so he could copyright the shit out of that. You know what I'm saying? That the name he can totally have because that was his legitimate. He's got the receipts, and I give him props for it. I came up with a bunch of funny shit, which of course didn't make the cut. But and I don't even know if we'll go with D&D 214, but it basically started to create its own community from there. Like ideas started to roll just from the name, and it was just like chit chats like this. And then maybe this is like a Monday thing. Then on Tuesdays we'll get together and we'll do Call of Duty. And then Saturdays will be a whatever, a poll, whoever follows us gets to pick whatever game we're playing on Saturday, that kind of thing. And whoever can make it can make it. And then this week it's going to be these three Bubbas. And next week it's going to be people, three different Bubbas or whatever. And it's just those kinds of things. And then basically it's like, hey, you know what? I got a buddy who might like this. I'm gonna say something to him and be like, hey, can I bring my buddy on? I was, oh shit, yeah, dude. Yeah, he's a vet or whatever, that kind of thing. And just have vets celebrating vets and just vets being around each other. Because it's like with everything else going on, what I did notice is not only the lack of the voice of veterans, but even those that are in the military, like Brad. And it's for different reasons. they're in the military, um, but what content is being established, or what content they're creating at the moment is not, doesn't put that, it's not an aspect of the actual content that they're putting out there. Whereas I'm that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? With people like yourself and even him, he's libertarian, so he even has that kind of a view on everything that's going on. So that brings an interesting facet to it. But he knows people, and maybe he knows kids that would like to. Maybe at some point, your camera's going off. Did you kick the table? I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I
yeah.
got or I start shaking. I don't
Oh,
know.
I was getting ready for an earthquake. I thought an earthquake was hitting there first and then going to hit me.
Yeah, it's got you.
Yeah, I know.
That's your
But
California coming out in you.
yeah, I know, dude. There's nothing worse than shit like that happens like out of nowhere, like an earthquake. I mean, you can handle a fire because like it takes a while to get to you, or maybe like a hurricane or a flood. Even you kind of have warning. Flash floods, no, but you know what I'm saying. There's with an earthquake. I don't know, earthquake weather my ass. I mean, it's just like you're just talking, and all of a
Earthquake
sudden,
weather.
7.1. Yeah, wherever there's a lot of earthquakes, there will always be people who say that there's bullshit like earthquake weather, or my animals can sense it and shit like that. Earthquakes are the weirdest, most. It is
So
It
animals
is
can actually sense it with the micro quakes that happened before,
right.
right?
The sensitivity of each animal, and then of
Yeah.
course how
But
powerful the type of earthquake, as well as how powerful it is.
as
They're
far as
not.
weather, I've never heard that.
Yeah, well, that's what they claim. But yeah, that bullshit. Um, that's what we heard. Well, down in San Andreas. Well, you were up there at San Andreas too, right? You were just on the inside. We were on the outside. We would have been part of the island of
Yeah.
Los Angeles, just Santa Barbara on down, just
Like
fucking floating out there between continental United States and Hawaii. But yeah, it I don't know. Earthquakes were just fucking uncool, dude. Absolutely uncool. But I want to tell you about the one thing. I'm in a chill place right now, but I was heated, son. Absolutely heated. I was telling you before about how I mixed up when I was supposed to pick up my 14-year-old to the mall. Oh my god, dude. So I was so I was not in a good place anyways, because I get this phone call. Hey dad. And I'm like, fuck. As soon as I saw her name on my phone, I was like, I fucked up. And so I immediately went from like, I was preparing for this. And so I was like, I got some music on. I was chill. And I went from like 0 to 100. I'm on my way. And I went in because what I had switched around, just so people know, is that I was supposed to pick up my daughter, my youngest, at the mall, come home. At that point, I would then pick up my oldest and then take her to work and then come back and do the podcast. That's what I was supposed to do. And it would have allowed me enough time to do so. Well, that didn't happen. So my daughter calls right when I'm like moments away from having to take my oldest to work. I'm like, oh, so I go to run towards the door and she opens it as I'm coming out. I'm like, let's go. And I'm all stressed or whatever. And she's like her mom trying to calm me down. And I'm the type of person like, shh, don't talk right now. Daddy's mad. Shh. That's not helping. You know what I'm saying? I don't, please don't. Anyways, and some attitudes and stuff like that. And I'm like, so I got to race to get my oldest to work, and then I got to race to get to the mall because now I realize I don't have my cell phone because I left in such a rush. So then I'm like, maybe this podcast has to be canceled because maybe I got to go in the mall to find my daughter. I don't know what I'm going to find when I get there. Like maybe she's just standing there and the other parent picked up the other kid and just took off because I dropped them off as a pair. The girls stayed the night last night. And we were supposed to meet there at 4 and then pick up our individual kids and then leave from there because they live fucking far away. Anyways, yeah, so I fucked that all up. So the dad ended up waiting like an hour for me to actually show up by the
damn.
time I showed up. Yeah, so I had to drop oldest at Dion's and then go to Chapel Hills. Yeah.
Your oldest works at Dion's? Been there one time.
Really? They got well, much like anything else.
Salad subs.
Oh yeah, but it's like one of those things where like, oh, they got subs. They have one I like. Oh, they got pizzas. I like one style of their pizza. Yeah, it's that kind of place with me, anyways.
Yeah,
But
I've
they,
been there once.
my wife and kids, they dig that shit, dude. My mother in law, whenever there's a pizza, she always gets their big ass. They got the extra larges, and so just gets a couple of those fuckers.
Well, extra large pizzas. All right, so my ex and I, we've been hanging out, and when my son came into town, I took him to Shields to buy him all his baseball stuff for next year. So I asked her, what you want to meet
How is
up?
that place? That's the new place down by Regal, isn't it? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that place is the shit.
That's like Dick's on crack, isn't it?
It's
Dick's Sporting
like
Goods.
Dick's, Bass Pro, Cabell, all rolled into one, dude.
No
It's
shit.
fucking nuts. I love it.
Wow.
I got a credit card with them.
No shit.
So I bought him all his baseball stuff. Anyway, we met for lunch with my ex and my daughter, and we went to Anthony's Pizza over there on Interquest.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I'm a big guy. I eat food. So they're like, let's. She's like, oh, I want a pizza. I said, okay, we'll get pizza. And the lady's like, a medium would do. You guys, you guys will be able to handle it. I said, come on, lady, let me get your whatever the biggest pizza they had. I said, let me get that. I shit you not, dude. This pizza was fucking huge. They don't even make a box for this pizza.
It's like 36 inches across or something.
Dude, it was nuts. Each slice was like 3 regular slices of pizza you would get at like a Pizza Hut, something like that, right?
I love that
And,
shit,
and
dude.
it's one of those ones that it was New York style. They're from New York. They have the accent and everything like that. You actually have to fold it over and eat it like New Yorkers eat their pizza.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm fat. I'm 200 fucking 45 pounds. I eat food.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 slices of pizza and I was full.
No shit.
Dude, you
How many
want to talk about.
slices did it have? Something that big.
So 3 slices was not even half, so 8
So they
maybe?
oh wow.
Dude,
Okay.
it,
Because
it
Dion's
was,
cuts it. It may be 10 pieces. Because theirs is so big, they just cut it. I
yeah.
don't know. I may be wrong, but
But dude, it was, and then they had that thin crust, which I like the thin crust.
mm-hmm.
It was good fucking pizza.
Really,
Good
really,
pizza. Yeah.
that's good shit. Have you been to Fargo's?
Once.
It's very it's a
It's a,
niche. It's a
yeah.
niche sort of. Their pizza reminds me of Shakey's. Remember Shakey's pizza? I
I
ate the
love
shit out of
Shakey's.
Shakey's. You could just eat it. It's not. It's pizza you could just shovel in, and you're just
Yeah,
like
it's not
that
like when you
satisfies.
savor and you're like, oh, I'm gonna.
No, but it is because it's so niche. The way their pizza is, it's not that I miss it. It's just when I'm eating it, I'm like, okay, I kind
Yeah.
of this is. But we've only been there like 3 or 4 times in the 16 years we've been here, and
You
it's
know
like
what? It is really like a Shakey's.
it's Shakey's pizza, dude. That's fucking exactly what it is. I told my wife, I was like, oh, that's Shakey's.
I didn't even think of that.
The only pizza that's truly different. Well, actually, I should take that back. Domino's when Domino's changed their shit, how they did stuff a few years ago, and then Papa John's. Between like Pizza Hut and Little Caesars, like it kind of like blends away for me. Like Little Caesars is just like Shakey's. It's pizza for the sake of saying I had pizza tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's right
Yeah.
there. It's hot.
And it's cheap.
I walk in and out with shit. I don't have to wait. Pizza Hut is very oily. We don't go to Pizza Hut anymore. We used to do Papa Murphy's for a long ass time. The bake
The
your
take
own.
and bake.
Yeah.
No,
But
if
even
you
that's different.
get a
We're
Papa
on
Murphy's, take and bake, and smoke it in your smoker, boy,
no shit.
especially the one with the white sauce.
Does the crust rise in the smoker?
Yeah,
It does. Wow.
dude.
That's interesting. Do you have a big smoker then?
I have a regular one, but it's a Grilla,
Oh.
so it's a round one. Yeah,
Oh,
put that in
I
there.
see. All right. Okay.
So I can
That's a
I
good
smoke,
idea.
dude.
Every year we get the heart-shaped ones for Valentine's Day.
That's cute.
And for years we would get the Halloween one where they made the the pizza in the shape of a
I
pumpkin.
didn't know they had that stuff.
Yeah, take and bake from Papa Murphy's. Yeah, it's right here, so that's the
I
only
like
reason
I
why.
like Papa Murphy's.
It actually Papa Murphy's and Pizza Hut were the first pizza joints. Were the only ones that were here when we moved here.
Yeah,
Since then, Domino's opened up, Papa John's up the street,
I like
and Little
Papa
Caesars.
John's too.
Papa John's has, I think, when you go Supreme and you want like multiple meats and stuff like that on your pizza, I like
Their
Papa
crust
John's.
holds up.
Their dipping sauce, yeah, their dipping sauces and stuff like that. It's a different. For me, it's like if I'm doing a Super Bowl party, I do Papa John's.
Yeah,
If I'm having dudes over to watch UFC, it's Little Caesars. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because I'm getting a lot. There's a bunch of Bubbas there. I'm getting a lot of pizza. You know what I mean? But if I'm doing a Super Bowl, yeah, I'm getting.
you ever
There's gonna
tried?
be other things like ribs and stuff, so I
You
can
ever tried
do.
Louis?
Yeah, Louis
I
in New
like
York.
Louis.
Louis, what was the brothers? The Finelli brothers or something like that?
But
Yeah, Benelli. No, Benini. No, I always fuck up
Moriello,
names. That's it. Barella Brothers. They've got good pizza, but that's the pizza you get. We used to get that for meetings and
drunk,
shit. Yeah, or drunk. Yeah, because it's cheap and big and it's just.
and it's
What
greasy as fuck.
what was the pizza we got where we worked? Because it was just down
Oh,
the street too.
fucking Marco. I hate Marco's pizza.
It was just because it was close,
I
and they
hate
had like
Marco's pizza.
a corporate account there, and they're just like, bring 15 pizzas, okay, that kind of
Dude,
shit.
I hate Marco's pizza so bad.
I hated it, especially when like I hadn't eaten yet, and them fuckers would show up, and I'd have to escort them back to wherever the fuck the
And then,
conference room was. Yeah, and I'd smell that shit the entire time. I'd just be mad, because I wasn't in that meeting and I wasn't gonna get free pizza or something, or I just had a sandwich for lunch,
yeah,
waiting for me, and I'm just like, mother, let me get one of them pieces before you dip in there. But
yes,
yeah,
you gotta taste it for security reasons.
well, there's that. Plus, I shouldn't bitch too bad because they were really good to the guards. They're like, hey, there's extra food, and I'd always send the guards like, hey, go grab that shit, put it in the fridge for the night shift. All right, yeah, yeah.
You know he retired, right?
John, yeah, yeah.
Fuck
He
it.
he he where did he didn't end up in Florida like I thought he
No,
was going to.
he's in Alabama, ain't he?
Yeah, with his sister. I thought he was going to where his mom and dad were. But
Yeah.
yeah, good for him, dude. He had, I don't know. Me
It
and
was
him
about
talked.
time.
It was. He had a lot of health issues going back to his childhood cancer. And he wasn't long in the tooth either, dude. I mean, he had some city miles on him. And he had a hard time admitting that shit. And I'm like, dude, you've had a rough fucking life, son. You need to you need to think about you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We had a couple of those talks. And this this shit that you're doing, the stress of this security job, being the head dude, nah, bro, you're good. You can be better, but it you're not young enough and you don't have the drive
Yeah.
to be where you're at because the level of responsibility he had was more than what he could handle
Yeah.
because he would have been fine had I never shown up. But when I showed up and then I expected up here, yeah, he would have been good at where everybody else was
What?
at when Bob was there because he could have just shammed. And then when I
Oh,
expected
good
more
old
out of him,
Bob.
then when I got there and I expected more, they were all like, "What the fuck?" And then Rob didn't even know how to fucking take me because he didn't want to use the guards that way. I'm like, how do you have employees that are out there in front not be security guards the way they're intended to? He always just treated them as fucking speed bumps. That's the way he looked at them, is just ignorant fucks that were too dumb to do anything else. And they were a necessary evil. He had to have them. And he treated them that way and he acted that way. So anytime I was like, "Nah, man, that shit sucks." And no, they're not, cuz I hid a lot of stuff from Rob because I was helping them out and I knew Rob was going to be resistant to shit. Especially when we were transitioning and all these fucking people started leaving and then they started working like these crazy ass hours and the shift was all fucked up. And then the company they worked for wasn't sending anybody new, and then we switched companies, and that company was fucking them over.
Dude, it was bad.
Rob didn't want to hear any of that. And we had these bubbas that were working, they were supposed to work 40 hours a week as a security guard and stay vigilant and shit like that. They were working 12-hour days, like 5 days, 6 days a week. Can't do that shit. And Rob was like, so? I was like, dude. And I sat there and broke down. I said, do you want to, I'm going to sit here and tell you why this sucks for every single individual one of these guards. Do you want to hear it? Because they've told me, now you're going to hear it. And he didn't humanize them. He had dehumanized them because he valued their lives as less than his. Because
So he
thought
didn't
here,
value their lives.
he did not.
Yeah.
He did not. And it was quite obvious. And they felt it too. They couldn't put their finger on it. I was the one who verbalized it. He does not respect you people. We have to give him a reason to. And this is, follow me. And I will show you how we're going to do that. And
Oh, yeah.
You saw it. That staff turned around 180, kid. And they were like, Scott's leaving? What the? Yeah, it was.
And then it started going downhill again.
9 months. In 9 months, dude, that whole thing was like, I had that train. That train was moving in the right direction, and for the first time. And the problem was, I think a lot of the reason Rob was resistant to that shit was because I was telling him things he should have already been doing. I was discovering shit that he hadn't done that he should have been doing at the level of security we should have been at. He should have been begging for money 15, 20 years before I even got there. And so when I got there, that fence, the security system, all that shit, dude.
the person they replace you with is a fucking douchebag.
One of them power hungry fuckers.
It
Got chip on his shoulder and shit.
douchebag.
Well, the thing is that
and somebody tried to tell me, oh, he worked for Blackwater. Like, cool, man. What the fuck's that mean to me? You don't fuck if you work for Blackwater. They were taking cooks out of the army.
no shit. That's bizarre. That's probably his crowning achievement is having worked for him. I'd like to sit down and actually have a conversation with him.
Dude,
Yeah.
I wanted.
But see,
This dude pulled me aside one time because we had, a nurse, and I hope this gets around to him. We had a nurse, fairly attractive, and I was talking to her.
this is quite obviously after I left.
Yeah, and because we were taking temperatures, everything for the fucking COVID, the Chinese.
Oh,
virus.
so she was in addition to Marilyn didn't leave.
Oh no, Marilyn was still there.
Marilyn was still there. Oh, so this was in
But
addition to her.
This is a nurse we hired to take temperatures to screen people before they come in.
Mm-hmm.
And
She was good looking, you said?
we were friends. She was good looking. She was at the time she was 23.
And a nurse?
Texas and all that. Well, she was not a nurse. What do they call those? Medical assistants?
Medical assistants. Okay.
Yeah.
Physician assistants?
Yeah. No, just a medical assistant.
Oh, okay.
But you get a certificate. You don't really,
Paramedic.
No, a medical assistant where she worked in a doctor's office taking,
okay.
So anyway, we were talking and we were friends and, I would bring her lunch and things like that. And he pulled me aside one time. He said, look, it was my job to check in on it because that's EH&S, check in on everything and see how everything's good, refill supplies. He pulled me aside. Hey, I know she's cute and everything, but, you need to chill out. I said, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? This is my job. Come to find out, this dude had offered, he's married.
And
he had offered he said, hey, do you want to be pretty much my side piece? Trying to get in on that, trying to tell me I need to back off. I'm like, bro, this is my job. What are you doing? It has nothing to do with you.
Right.
I'm like, you're a fucking piece of shit, and I hope you're married.
That's because you're a Mad Mac, dude.
I mean, it's because I'm nice.
Well, yeah, and he felt threatened by you because and that's the thing too that I noticed even with Rob and Bob to tell you. Well, quite frankly, everybody except the very few people and Kevin who had the same sort of attitude is like we all put our pants on, dude. Trust me when I tell you, we all put our pants on the same. You don't impress me at all. And when you come across that way, you're respectful. I'm respectful. I respect the office that they hold or the position they hold, that kind of thing. But like, you don't impress me. And when that comes across, it's extremely threatening, especially when
Yeah.
there's a pretty girl or whatever have you, and there's that interaction that you have with them, because it comes off as this almost super cool, because I'm not chasing you. And I know all these guys are watching us right now, so I could be like, hey, because I know it's not going to go anywhere. She knows it's not going to go anywhere, and we're just like, whatever, and it just ends. But they're all fucking, just like that dude, like, oh, look at that fucker. That kind of thing.
Although,
It's like, you're sad because it's like, if you're married and that happens, it's like, you've done it to yourself. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Don't put yourself in a situation. If you, I don't know, this was just me. I enjoy women. I love women. That's just in my DNA, right?
I'm
And
glad.
so, right. And so when you know this, when there is an attractive woman that we've worked with, that she was
All
new, and she was
two
only
of
there for
them.
like, well, you remember the one that was there for like a month because she was entirely too distracting. She was in the other building. She was doing like finances or some shit like that. I think she was doing payroll maybe. Remember when
Oh yeah.
payroll was all fucked up? Her, the Hispanic chick, she was just walking in like Salma Hayek, just pow pow pow. I was like, and me, I got to do the in briefs, so I see everybody who comes in, and I'm just like, oh,
Oh,
I gotta,
I did the orientations too. Yeah, I know which one you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. She was sitting across the table, but that's the thing, though. Oh, this is the other thing too. I wanted to bring this up. My wife and I were talking about this. She just thinks I'm a fucking dick, but and this is ego, okay? But this is just my style because I respect my wife and I don't. I look, dude. I'm like, bless your heart, sweetie. You've worked hard and you deserve everything you get in life. Because I'm not just talking about pretty faces, because no one can really truly, no one can handle that. I'm talking from here to ankles. You know what I mean? Like someone who's quite obviously taking. I'm not talking someone who's naturally skinny. Someone you could tell has gone the extra mile.
Yeah, they got the tone. They.
Right. And just go, oh wow, or like Gina Carano back in the day when she was, fighting, like that kind of, like, damn girl, like that's I kind of gravitate towards, right? And so my wife sees, so she sees, like, even if I haven't noticed it yet, my wife with her radar will see that shit. When we were younger, she would tilt her head to see if I would move my head. Well, I wear sunglasses 24 hours a day, except when I'm doing shit like this. And I never turn my head. I just keep walking straight, and the eyes go like, and inside I'm going, wow, good, you know,
Good
good
golly, Miss
job,
Molly.
exactly, or whatever it is. I learned that shit early on, dude, because when I was 12, 13, whatever have you, I was at the mall with some hottie cheerleader,
Breaking your
whatever
neck.
the hell. Yeah, and was like, oh, I was vocal and shit. I was, and so I learned real quick. My brother was like, dude, sunglasses, bro. But now what's happened is, like, if I'm walking, rings don't matter, right? And this is what I've noticed, especially with COVID. When women had their faces covered, what I was noticing was like they were like looking like, I think psychologically it really fucked with a lot of women and with a lot of dudes, but primarily because even though a lot will complain if they're ogled, I should say, not Googled, but ogled at, or like someone gets
Or if
vocal,
they're
hey,
Googled, they'll probably
nice,
complain.
not right, exact. But what I'm saying, like, if there used to be a time where, like, you could just smile and acknowledge, like, you're pretty, I think you're
Yeah.
pretty, and that's it. You just smile and nod and how you doing, and you just move on. Instead of this whole, oh damn, you're hot, girl. Ooh, get over here, and why are you ignoring me? Yeah, all that shit. So when that kind of stopped because everybody was covering their face, then it became, well, what from the neck down draws the attention? That's what no one was talking about during this whole COVID thing. Because I could talk all day to a very pretty faced girl who should probably not have all those donuts, right? But that's how humans are. Humans are all about this, how we are interacting. My job was to watch somebody, even on video, for micro expressions and body language and things. I'm watching the whole kit and caboodle. Yes, I can see your eyes, but if I can't see the rest of your face to fill in the pieces, How do you have a conversation with someone that you like if you have a mask on? Or you know what I'm saying? And then it becomes, because what I did notice is that in jobs where women who did wear makeup, who do wear makeup, wore masks, they would like boom with their eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like their eyes were
You had
like
to
they
bring
would
that attention somewhere.
total dude. Before COVID, I had these dental assistants, these sisters. Son, these girls' eyes.
Hey,
When I
what dance you go to?
the one right out right by me. Anyways, I used to. I don't go there anymore. But yeah, no, dude, they were cute anyways. Just, but when they would put it didn't look right. It looked like too much makeup when they didn't have their mask,
Yeah,
hygiene mask on back in the day before COVID. But they'd put that joker on. Usually I'd have my eyes closed, but every so often I open them to look because their eyes were just like got so it's like holy crap, like entrancing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But that was how what I
bro.
noticed more women were doing. You know what I'm
I
saying? Like I was seeing that shit. Like this is detrimental. You know, like we're augmenting humanity right now in this year that we're doing this stupid bullshit, this year and a half or whatever
dude,
it is. Like psychologically, we're really mating wise and how we interact and stuff. It's fucked up. My wife and I were saying like when let me finish this thought right quick and then but my wife and I were talking about how like when these masks came off and everyone was like, ah, right? So we're out in Steamboat Springs and we see these, you know, they live up in the mountains, right? So they live in Steamboat Springs and we're just vacationing there. So we're out walking to, we're at Come and Go. And this group of 20 somethings were jogging by. And you could tell, I could tell that, or I assumed anyways, they were mountain girls from Steamboat Springs.
yeah,
Just a bunch of hot bodies. Just you could tell that they are all about the outdoors 24/7, 7, you know, just all year long. And their body shows it. You know what I'm saying? They're not city people. They don't have a sedentary job. Maybe they're rafters or they're professional skiers or any number of things. And so that's their lifestyle. But I think what they got used to is the fact that with the mask, and maybe it's just what, but with the masks on, all men were seeing, right, as they went running by in their tank tops and tight shorts, was body, for lack of a better term, and perhaps the length and color of her hair. That was pretty much it, skin color, let's just say. But now that masks are off, it's back to we're looking at faces and stuff like that. Well, what my wife noticed was that when they were running past, I was out there smoking or whatever, and when they ran past, they literally ran past. I could smell they, for whatever reason they had perfume on. When they ran past me, I could smell their perfume. That's how close they were to me. But I never looked directly at them. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw them approaching and was like, "Oh, there's people approaching." So I kind of stepped back, but I was watching traffic and I was relaxing my, you know, we were in a car for 4 hours. So I'm relaxing. I'm just out there smoking whatever. And they go running by and I didn't look that way. You know what I'm saying? Like as they walked by, I kind of or ran by, I kind of just glanced down. That was it. But then they stopped and it like irked them. And my wife took note of that, but I didn't really pay attention. Later on, I think maybe that night or the next day, we were doing something else and walking directly towards us. I had my sunglasses on and I was walking straight. And my wife saw her with her eyes keep darting at me, like, notice me almost. You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of, why is this man? So my wife had noticed. We started talking about it and it was like, that's so interesting. Like that psychology, that aspect of, well, wait a minute, are we not supposed to look? But now now my wife's seeing signals of this girl was a little weird because you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that aspect of interest, the psychology of it. Of don't look at me. Well, honey, you're in a tank top and really tight shorts. You can't disappear. And so let's come to a middle ground. I won't be gross, and we'll all understand the fact that if you go out of the house like that, somebody's going to look, especially if you go bouncing by. That we're designed that way. And this is one of the things that for years, especially when I was a kid, not a kid, when I was much younger in our 20s when my wife and I were first married, was the fact that if I looked, if she saw me look. I see movement out of the corner of my eye that may or may not be I see boobs or hair or something like over here. I
Yeah.
look. It's just it's part of how men are wired. It's that sort of we can't help it. Now you can control, like if you're not paying attention and it occurs, that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Like you can appreciate some shit. Okay. You can appreciate some shit, but it's like you don't have to be gross about it, I guess is my
Yeah,
point.
for sure.
But so here's the thing. So bringing it back full around, I want to thank everybody who was in chat tonight. We've gone over 3 hours again because this was supposed to start and it didn't. It started late. So what we will
This is
do,
3 hours of talking time. I mean,
yeah, it is, dude. It's catch up time, and we gotta do this like we were talking about before more often.
yeah.
Um, so as things start to solidify with the behind the scenes stuff, then I'll reach out to you. I'll text you and let you know what kind of plans we have, and
All
then
right.
something like this where we'll game or you'll be on with other people, but you'll know
I'll
ahead
get a
of time.
camera for my Xbox.
Yeah, yeah, and then with Twitter and stuff, like the notifications when you go to I know you don't use it that often, but when you go to my profile, if you hit the bell, it'll say like all notifications or
Oh,
whatever
I
because
get
I
it.
know you. Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, and I don't mean to be like I was as far as you could get like on the periphery of what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
that'll be cool. So yeah, so that's coming up here shortly. I got today, tomorrow. I have an actual interview. This one was more of a chat with. So if you're still in, I think it's just us watching right now. But if you watch this later, tomorrow night, which is Tuesday the 27th, right? Tuesday the 27th, I have a guy from
Yep.
podcast that I met in Chicago when I was there. We didn't get to talk about this, but I went to Chicago and there was a meetup. I went there on the 10th. I literally flew in Saturday morning, had this whole meetup type thing, hung out with all these people in Chicago, other podcasters and stuff. And there was an actor from The Mandalorian who was there and all kinds of other stuff. It had kind of like he calls it a scarif. It's part of his podcast, but it's his own convention. This is the third year he had it. I was like, fuck it, dude. I want to go. It's a meetup, meet these people in person and stuff. That's what I'm all about is this new direction I'm going, right? Really get to know these people. And so I was like, I'd like to go. And I was like, hey, look what I did. And then when I announced it, it was like these other people were like, you know what, that I'd like to do that too. And so by the time we got to Chicago, there was 5, 6 extra people that made the trip that otherwise hadn't been thinking about it up until that
Yeah.
point. So now you have these, more. We went out to dinner. We had these 2 tables. There's like 15, 20 of us or some shit like that. It was fun, dude. And then after dinner, we had dinner with the actor, or whatever. And then we all said bye to him. And then some people left, and a bunch of other of us went to a bar and hung out and talked and then went
That
back
sounds
to the
cool as
hotels.
fuck.
And next day, flew back to Colorado. Yeah. So with that, a guy I met there, Rob, he's gonna be on tomorrow night, and then Thursday, some funny ass Star Wars guys are gonna be on. They're called, they're part of a crew called Faking Star Wars. Okay, that's it's a play on Making Star Wars, which is Jason Ward. I don't know if you've seen my videos on that motherfucker, but yeah, that dude was he was fairly big back in the day, or at least thought he was. And
Yeah.
so it's a play on his name. So Faking Star Wars is like a parody, sort of like the Babylon Bee, but with Star Wars. And these guys got their own podcast and they do their own things on, separately, but then they come together. So I'm gonna have we're I think it's trying to nail down whether all of them or just some of them are gonna come on, but they'll be on Thursday. So same bat time, same bat channel. 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday will be Rob. Thursday will be the Faking Star Wars crew. And then I will be doing static, less than an hour long podcast. I'll be doing 2 of those sometime this week. So that's what I got planned. What do you got planned for this week, dude? It's just Monday. It's still young. What do you got planned for the week?
So, I work Monday through Thursday, and then I have Thursday off. So Thursday, I'm taking the kids to Give the Winds. Go back to work Friday. Saturday I got off, so I don't know what I'm gonna do Saturday. Uh,
Nice.
Probably play some video games. I want to get in. I really want to get back into the games now that I got an Xbox S.
Well, let me know, dude. Text me. Text me games that you're interested in, and that
I'll text you my gamer tag and we'll link up
Cool, cool,
because
cool.
my son's always on. He's
Okay.
always he's always on my profile. You got your own profile. Why are you always on mine? So he's always on my
Well,
profile.
this is my gamer tag. So if anybody listening or whatever, that's my gamer tag both on Xbox. That's pretty much where all this started. Was I was trying to come up with something original for my Xbox tag back in the day, my gamer tag. So that's where the pseudonym came from, and then I just transferred it over to all the accounts that I do. So that's just
You know,
so yeah,
it's good to keep track of it.
shit, yeah, dude, makes it all nice and easy. But yeah, so definitely, and so that's my week. That's your week, and then let's see the weekend starting next week for me. There'll be more interviews coming. I got some interviews I'm excited about that will be pushed out further because of scheduling. These people are extremely busy, and I have to. I'm making myself available on their schedule. So just to give you an idea um, of something to look forward to, both maybe one next week, but I got a couple for August that
Cool.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to those, and then my plan is to I'm just gonna start hitting people. I'm just letting you know on Twitter if you find this shit. I know no one's watching right now, but if you listen to this shit later, I will be finding people on Twitter, and I will be cold asking you if you want to come on the show.
And
Having not met you or anything else, I will come find you. And if you talk Star Wars, geeky shit in any fashion, and you have a podcast, I'm gonna
there
get
you
through
go.
the red. I got this network of people I'm in with now. There's a lot of us, but I really want to feel, and I want to interview every single person who's in my network. That's what I want to do, and I want to get involved in that and have people that listen to me perhaps hear them as well. And it's a different
Yeah.
perspective, and it's a different way of looking at what we all love. And so I just dig all that. But I want to intersparse some other podcasters, and then in addition to that, have our veteran thing that we do. So busy times.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Website's going to change a little bit. The there's some new things on the horizon. A little bit new merch, different merch.
Yeah.
So
Merch.
yeah.
Yeah. Give me some merch.
Go to 97bravo.com, my friend. Go to
I'm gonna give me some merch.
97bravo.com, and that's my website, and you'll see all the podcast episodes once they're uploaded to the net, become an actual podcast episode. They'll show up on my website, and this right now is actually, I think, should be playing live on my website. And then once it's done, it becomes a static video on my website that you can watch. And then, so this, I have one page for the Convergence videos, and then I have another page for all the other videos that I do, which will include gaming. And then my brand, which is N7B Gaming, which would be basically me at this point. But it's a flag I've planted and a name that I've put out there to, if I go forward, have people, gamers like yourself, sort of representing under a flag of a community. Hey, and drawing people in, perhaps under your, you know what I'm saying? Like gathering that kind of thing. And then it's this pyramid sort of pull up, and if you're having fun and bringing attention to things and cool, or hey, I just want to be casual, that's cool too. Hey, I want to go to the top, cool, that's cool too, we'll help push you, things like that. If the reason I have, and I know you have to get off here, the reason I have this newfound drive is because with everything my wife and I talked about last night, the way it basically ended, to kind of give you an idea of how it came full circle and how we know we want to do this together, we want to
Yeah.
continue to do this together, was the fact that she was like, because of where the heart is and we've only touched on the surface of what it means to me and why I need to be doing this, but she wants to do something called she wants to do her own podcast, or she's getting that fire to do her own podcast
Oh yeah.
called the Combat Veterans Wives Club.
There you go.
And so
I got
talking,
two wives she can interview.
and that's what I'm saying is and her aspect of it would be the talking out being a military wife and not necessarily knowing everything and not understanding this new world that you're in and having to need help to navigate it. And then sometimes your husband's not there while you're needing to understand some things and he
Oh,
can't
yeah.
help you with those. And so someone else has to help you. And those kinds of things. And
That's
then
pretty. That's pretty
learn
cool, man.
learning to lean on family and different experiences she had because our first daughter that we had been trying for I think a year and a half, we had some issues. And she finally got pregnant, and then I left a month after our firstborn was born. So that there's
That's a good
baggage.
idea.
There's baggage there. So and there's other baggage. I mean, we've known each other since we were 15. So there's baggage all over. There's nothing but luggage in our house, my friend. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's 30 years of luggage.
Told you
31
about my
years.
luggage.
Yeah, you got 2 big sacks, 2 big wet bags. But that's the thing is, it's inspiring, and if people are interested in doing it, I would like to be there to help facilitate the transition from being not doing it to actually doing it. And I never thought I'd be in that position. I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, I had technical issues earlier, but I've met people that I know these 2 techie dudes that if I ever have issues and I have the time to reach out to them, I didn't tonight, but they'd send me shit specifically to my problem because that's just who they. So I just want to help, and
Good
then
to have a network.
yeah, and that basically is what it is. And with this Red 5 Podcasters Network, everybody has their own audience that they bring to the ultimate bigger circle. And if
That's
there's
cool.
a focal point, we can then have gaming and stuff that then comes off that. Then we have, let's say, 97 Bravo gaming versus Scarif gaming. And now inside the network, we have these 2 gaming teams that shit we could play. There's groups of people that play Mario Kart. So we could have a Mario Kart night and then someone wins a trophy for that night. So that team, you know what I'm saying? Like build esprit de corps and competition and those kinds of things separate from our podcast numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like having more team building exercises like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then we all each go off and do our own individual things, and then separately we're like, I want to get back to, I want to, there's that one new thing we do as a group. Let's do that more, or they want to do something differently, and there's a smaller group. It just builds off each other, and I think that there's a lot of creativity out there, and I think there's a lot of gatekeeping, and I think there's a lot of this is the way it should be done, or don't do it like that. I say make it messy, make a mess, dude. And by the time you figure out how to walk,
That's
you,
cool. That's an idea, man.
you know what I mean? So, and I want you to be a part of it. You could be however much a part of it as you want to be, but I want you to be involved in some
Really?
capacity. So
Well, I told you I'm getting back into games, man. Now that I got an Xbox.
yeah. So you just keep me apprised, and then we'll game separate from this. But yeah, dude, we need to start doing some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And getting into that and just having an escape, something we can look forward to. Another aspect of it was I'm rewatching The Big Bang Theory, and they have Halo Night, shit like that.
Yeah.
And so my wife's like, Halo Night with your buddies, dude. Halo Infinity's coming up, bro.
Yeah, and that's another reason to get an Xbox over a PlayStation.
Yeah. Do you have the Master Chief Edition? It has all of them, and the combat. What is it? The first Halo is like digitally enhanced.
Is that on the Game Pass?
Yeah.
No, I haven't downloaded that yet. I don't think I have enough data left because what's that like a 600?
Well, that's gigantic.
Yeah.
It's totally gigantic, but because it's older tech, you could put it on your external. It's not it's not one you have to put on your internal one. So
Okay, I'll download
yeah,
that tonight then. I'll have my son do it. Say, hey,
yeah, dude.
download this shit, gay boy.
Hell yeah. But yeah, dude. All right, I will let you go. Thank you for everybody who showed up in chat. I appreciate you immensely. You dipped in,
Yep.
you dipped out. I really do. Just give a shout out ATSW. Excuse me. The Escape Pod. That dude I met in Chicago. That dude's awesome as all hell. We got your Uncle Danny. We got your mom, Susan. Hi. Thank you for stopping by. We got Mike. He stopped by. Red 5, brother. And Miss Martin Muse stopped by as well. I want to thank everybody who showed up in chat, everybody who's still watching right now. I think it's just me and Chris, but it's cool. If you follow me on Twitch, like I said earlier, I don't know, link your Amazon Prime if you haven't already to your Twitch account. You get a free subscription, and what better way to find out
I'm
whether
gonna
you
do that.
like my stuff is to subscribe, and then you get cool little emojis. And if you look at the emojis, they're special agent specific, and I dare you to try to figure out what they're supposed to be. One's a badge, okay? That's one of my emojis. That one's easy to figure out. But the other two are on you. If you can figure out what those mean, then cool. But yeah, if you subscribe, you get emojis. That's how Twitch works. And then you get like precedents and stuff like that. And because I'm an affiliate, it's just different. So it's cool. If you subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. Use a little Amazon Prime. I'd appreciate a free subscription. Also, YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, share. Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Same, my name, just like that. What are you on Twitter now? What's your Twitter handle?
I think it's what is my bro?
Is it C
Don't
Bacon the
forget.
Troll or something like that?
Yeah, the troll C Bacon, I think. Yeah, at troll_C Bacon.
All right, give Chris a
A
follow.
little troll.
Give Chris a follow and see what
Might
he's
change
up
my
to.
gamer tag to that too. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, shoot me that, and then yeah, we need to hook up. That'd be outstanding. But as always, everybody, thank you for stopping by. I know a lot of you are going to be hearing this tomorrow when it drops live as a podcast. So to be all fancied up with the cool shit in the beginning, cool shit in the middle, it'd be fucked up with some ads. That's why it behooves you to watch the live show because you won't have ads. But I appreciate the
Boom.
ads and the $3 or $4 it brings in every month. Even with as little as I do, it still brings in pennies. So it's weird, dude. I don't understand it. I don't think it'll ever pay the bills, but again, to your what you said,
You don't know,
Reese,
man.
I'm not scared that I'm gonna get rich. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That's not one of the things that I'm having fun, and I think that if it's gonna do anything, it's gonna be because of the down to earthness and the reality of what we're trying to do and who we're trying to do it for. I'm not trying to be somebody else, and I'm not trying to fit into somebody else's crowd. It is simply like this, and this is I'm all accepting, and so let's all talk. If you want to float in and hang out and ask questions and do those kinds of things, ask personal questions of me or whatever have you, I'll that's I don't care. I don't you know what I'm saying? Let's just do this. And with all the people that I've met with, especially in this network, they just want to help. You know what I'm saying? They're just eager to help. Like I don't want to be too. I'm like no. I appreciate that. You know that kind of thing. So it's just cool. So it's something to look forward to, definitely. So with that, we're well over 3 hours, closing in on 3.5. These things are just getting longer and longer, dude. We're just gonna have to fucking Red Bull the shit out of it. If
Yeah,
we ever started one of these motherfuckers like at 8 o'clock in the morning, dude, forget about it.
it's done. Especially on my
See,
day off.
oh hell yeah, but
I
yeah, all right,
mean, yeah.
definitely, dude. So okay, cool deal. All right, everybody, you be good to each other. This episode should drop the next day, and then I got a couple other episodes dropping this week, so 5 in total for this week. It's a big week for the Convergence. I appreciate you stopping by. As always, follow, like, share, subscribe, comment, love, like, whatever. Get it out there. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Tune in to the podcast, download that nonsense, and enjoy. Assault your ear holes with all this interview talk.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, indeed. All right, so this is it. That's all we got to say tonight. Thank God, because I guess we're both we're both tired as all hell. So you guys take care, and as always, be indomitable. But beyond that, always be cool. All right, you guys take care. So that's that. We will end the stream. You guys all take care, and then me and Chris are gonna finish up here. You guys chill. Later. Yes, I want to end.